Hello all, my name is Krish Naik and welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, yet another amazing project for all of you. And again, this will be an end-to-end project with deployment. In our previous video, I had uploaded one video regarding MLflow and Hub, right? And we saw that how we can perform all our experiments, model training with respect to MLflow, right? And Hub was a kind of a remote repository which you can also probably see, experiment and collaborate in a data science project with multiple team members. Now, after that, many people were requesting Krish try to create an end-to-end project wherein we can probably use this ML flow along with data ingestion, data transformation, model training, model deployment, and probably try to do it in some AWS EC2 instance, because in companies, many of the companies use AWS EC2 instance, right? So considering this particular project will be an end-to-end machine learning or data science project where I will be taking a specific data set and then we will be implementing each and every steps with respect to data ingestion, data validation, data transformation, model training and model deployment and evaluation. Everything we will be implementing. Along with this, we'll be integrating ML flow also. Now, what will happen if once we start using ML flow in this? With the help of MLflow, we will be able to integrate and do most of the tasks with respect to experimentation, model tracking, everything as such, right? And then as you know that MLflow is completely open source. So you can probably integrate with any kind of clouds, right? Let it be AWS EC2 instance or Azure or anything as such, or Google Cloud also. And you can also do this with any kind of libraries, let it be scikit-learn, TensorFlow, PyTorch, right? So what we will do with respect to our experiment, we will try to work in such a way that we'll try to integrate MLflow and then we will implement all this life cycle and then probably we'll do the deployment with GitHub action in the AWS EC2 instance. So please make sure that guys, while practicing this, I will be giving the code entirely in the description of this particular video. Go ahead and check it out. And as you practice, go ahead and implement it, and if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section, right? Now, before I go ahead, I really want to make a quick announcement. If you probably want to learn data science from me, probably implement this kind of projects in a much more detailed manner, which much more implementation, which much more explanation, then you can probably check out our full stack data science pro batch, which is starting from August 12th. So here you'll be able to see from August 12, 2023. It will be completely live. The classes are between 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. IST. And again, the doubt clearing session will be between 12 to 12 p.m. IST every Saturday and Sunday, right? Here in this particular program, it will be somewhere around 12 months duration. All the classes will be live. The instructor will be Sudhanshu and Krish, which are the main mentors. Along with this, we also have some more mentors, that is Soranshu Paul, and we also have Sunny Savita, right? So all these are the mentors. One amazing thing about this particular course is that we have also included, some amazing thing with respect to OpenAI. So prompt engineering and LLM we used to not have in our previous batches, but now we have implemented or included everything, right? From prompt engineering to large language model to everything, right? So go ahead and check out. All the information will be given in the description and in the pinned comment. So guys, now let's go ahead and implement this entire project step by step, okay? So you just have to implement along with this, and if you probably face any kind of concerns or issues, please let me know in the comment section. So let's go ahead and implement the project.
So guys, now let's start with our project implementation. So before that, what I will do, I will create one GitHub repositories, okay, of our project, and we'll be creating the project template, okay? Then we'll start with our project creation. So first of all, I will open my GitHub account. So here I will click on new repository, okay? So let's give the repository name as end-to-end machine learning project, okay, with MLflow. Now I'll make it as public. Then I will add readme file, okay, then git ignore Python, and let's take a license, okay? So let's take MIT1 and I will create the repository. Okay, all right. Now I need to clone this repository. I will copy, select HTTPS and copy the link address. Okay. Now I'll open my local folder. Here I will open my terminal. Now just write git clone and paste the link. Okay. Now this was end-to-end machine learning project. Okay. So I'll just write cd end-to-end machine learning project with MLflow. Okay. This is the project. Now let me just open it manually. This one. Okay. Now I will open my VS Code in this folder. I'll just write code space dot. All right. So first thing, what I will do, I will create the project template. Okay. So I'll create one file here called Template.py. Yeah. So why I am creating this Template.py? Because let's say here we are creating end-to-end project. Okay. And here we need lots of files and folder. Okay. To manage my code. So instead of just creating those folders and file manually, if I create one Python script, okay, for that, and I'll just write one logic here, okay, it would be just one time effort. So after that, every time whenever I will execute this template.py, it will automatically generate this folder structure for me. Okay, so you're just putting just one time effort and you're trying creating this kinds of folder structure. Okay, but let's say you had to create this manually, so you need to click here again, you need to click here. Okay, then you need to manually create all the folder structure, so it would be a little bit time taking for you. Okay, so instead of that, actually try to create one Python script. Okay, and try to create this kinds of folder structure. Okay, this is the best way usually I follow. So I usually follow one template structure, okay, in my every project. So let me show you like what are the things actually I usually create in this template.py. So first of all, I will import some of the libraries here. Okay. So first of all, I will import operating system library, then pathlib. Okay. From pathlib, I also need path. Why I'm using path, I will tell you. Okay. Then I am also importing logging. So first of all, I will initialize one login string. Okay. Because I want to see the log in my terminal. Okay. That's why this logging string is needed. So basically, first of all, it will log what kinds of log level it is. So it is information level log. Okay. With respect to that, it will save the timestamp. Okay, the time actually you executed your code and the error message. Okay, what is the message actually, or let's say execution message, it will save in the terminal. Then after that, I will give my project name. Okay, so project name should be ML project. Here you can give any project name as per your choice, but here I have given ML project. Okay, so basically it will create one folder called src. Inside src, it will create this ML project. Inside that, I will be creating all of my component. Okay, so this should be very much clear whenever I will create this folder structure. Okay, then I will explain, okay, what I have done. So here I have taken one list. Okay, let me show you. So here I have taken one list and I have named it as list of files. Okay, so the first record, what I'm doing, I'm creating one folder called .github. Inside that, I'm creating another folder called workflows. Okay, then .gitkeep. So that's so what it will do, it will create one folder here .github. Inside that, again it will create one folder workflows. Okay, again it will create one file called .gitkeep. Okay, that's how you can see I'm arranging the folder. Okay, folder name and like file name here. So first of all, it will create src folder. Inside that, it will create this project name folder. Okay, ml project. Inside that, it will again create one components folder, and inside that, it will create this constructor file, because this is going to be my local package. Okay, so every time I need this constructor file to make this folder as my local package, because I want to import something from this folder. Okay, that's why you need to keep this constructor file ready. Okay, so that's how you can see I'm creating components, utils. Okay, then configuration. Okay, then pipeline, entity. Okay, constant. These are the thing. And what is pipeline, constant, entity, I will discuss each and everything whenever I will start the coding. Okay, coding, let's say implementation. At the time I will tell you like what is this. Okay, why I'm using this thing. Okay, as of now, just consider these are the folder structure actually you need, and with respect to that, these are the files actually you need. Okay, then I need config YAML, dbc. Okay, so dbc I won't be using in my project, so let me just remove it. Okay, so dbc I don't need. I have already removed the dbc here. So I'm again creating one file called params.yaml, schema.yaml. Okay, main.py, app.py docker file, because I told you I will be integrating docker with that. Requirement.txt setup, and I'm also creating one folder called research. Inside that, I will be creating IPONB file, because before implementing our actual components, we'll be doing the experiment. Okay, in the notebook. Then I'm also creating template. Okay, index.html because I'm going to use Flask, okay, to create my web application. That's it. Okay, now let me show you the logic I have written to create the folders and files. Okay, so here I have defined two for loops here. So I'm first of all looping through this list. Okay, first of all I am converting everything to the path. Okay, as you can see, I'm giving the path. Inside that I'm passing, these are the record. Okay, so basically what you can see here I'm using Windows operating system, but here I have provided /. Okay, but by default in Windows actually it always consider /, okay, instead of /. Okay, so to handle this kinds of issue, okay, this kinds of path issue, if you pass this path here, so it will automatically convert to Windows path. Okay, and it will give it to here. Okay, after that what I'm doing, I'm separating out these folders. Okay, separating out these folders and these files, because as you can see the first one is our folder, okay, and the last one is our file. Okay, so using waste.path.split, okay, I'm splitting that and I'm storing my folder in a separate variable and file in a separate variable. Okay, so this here I'm first of all creating the folders. Okay, as you can see, if I'm checking if folder directory is not empty, just create the folder structure, okay, and log the information. And here I'm creating the file. First of all I'm checking this file is exist or not. If it is not exist and this file size is 0, okay, then try to create the file, okay, and try to log the information. And if everything is okay, then just try to give file is already exist. Okay, this is the simple Python code I have written. Okay, now let me show you, let me just execute and show you like how it is creating the folder structure for you. Okay, so by default as you can see I don't have any file here. Okay, I don't have any file here, files and folder here. So let me clear my terminal. Now if I execute my template.py, first of all let me activate my environment conda. I think this was the activate, I think this was the my environment. Okay, yes, now I will execute my template.py. Now guys, can you see left hand side, it has created all the file structure for me. Okay, it's like very easy, right? We have just done one time effort. Anytime you can execute this template.py, you can create folder structure for you. And even if you see, it is also printing the log in the terminal. See, it's created the folder, okay, empty folder. Okay, now let's say I want to create another file. Okay, so what I will give, I will just come here and I'll give the file name here only. Okay, let's give test.py. Okay, test.py I want to create. Now just save it. Again, open up your terminal and just run your template.py. See, test.py has been automatically created. That's how using this template.py you can anytime like arrange these kinds of folder structure. Now let me show you what are the things it has created. First of all, it has created this .github. As you can see, .github we need because for the CI/CD deployment we'll be doing, okay, using GitHub action. That's why this thing is need. See, workflows and .gitkeep. .gitkeep I have given because whenever I will commit the code, so this folder should be also committed. That's why you should have some file present inside any kinds of folder, otherwise GitHub won't take empty file. That's why I've created this .gitkeep. Okay, later on I'll remove it. Now PyTest would be automatically generated for me because I have the extension. Okay, so this file you won't be getting, so completely fine, just you can ignore it. Okay, now config, as you can see I'm creating config here, config.yaml. so config.yaml. so here I'll be keeping all of my configuration of my project. Now resource, inside resource I have trials.ipynp. as you can see, now inside src I have created, see, it's created the project name ml project. Inside that it has created the components. Okay, again all the constructor file, as you can see, config, constant, entity, pipeline, okay, and utils. Inside utils I have created common.py because here I will be keeping all of my utility. Okay, template index.html. okay, and these are the file as you can see here, params html, schema as you can see, params.yaml, schema.yaml, requirement.txt, setup.py, everything it has created successfully. Okay, so that means we are able to create the folder structure. Now what I will do, I will do the project setup, okay, and requirement installation for this project. Like what are the requirements actually you need to run this entire project. Okay, so for this actually I need to install some of the package. Okay, but before that let me commit the changes in my GitHub. So what I will do, I will open my terminal, I will clear it, I'll just write git add space dot, then git commit -m, folder structure added. Okay, now I'll just write git push origin main. Now it should push my code. Let me see, let me go back to my GitHub and refresh the page here. See guys, it's done. Okay, Now let's do my requirement installation. So I'll open my VS Code again. So I'll open this requirement.txt file. Okay. And here I need some of the package. Okay. So let me just copy paste the package here. Yeah. So these are the package actually you need. Okay. You need pandas, mlflow. Okay. See, I'm using the same mlflow version, notebook, numpy, scale, and okay, matplotlib. And then you can also remove, these are the thing, but I kept it here. Okay. Just for a reference. Okay. Let's say if you're doing any kinds of visualization in your project, you can also use this matplot and all. Okay. Then Python config box, I will tell you like why I'm using Python config box. Okay. This Python box, why I'm using, and PyML, TQDM, okay, and ensure. Okay, I'll discuss this package. Okay, why I'm using in my project, because this is like new package I've integrated with my project, and these two packages like pretty good. Okay, so you can do lots of things using these two packages, and it will make your code like very professional. Okay, that's why I'm using this thing. And then I'm also importing Flask and Flask course, because I already told you, because at the end I will also try to create a web application. Okay, so there actually I'll be using Flask for it. Okay, now requirements is done. Now I also need to install this, these are the folder as my local package. Okay, so for this I will add this line called -e space dot. Okay, so it will look for the setup.py. Okay, inside setup.py you need to mention um, about your local package installation. Okay, so let me just show you the code. Yeah, so this code actually you need to mention inside setup.py. Basically, first of all, it will open up the readme file. Okay, so these are the basics code. Okay, you can write it, otherwise you can also ignore it, completely fine, but I'm giving just to make your code professional. Okay, as you can see, I'm mentioning the version, I'm giving the name of the project. Okay, it should be only mlflow, so I'll remove the dvc. Okay, now author name you can give here. Okay, this is my source repository name. As you can see, source repository name, ml project. Okay, author mail address you just replace with your mail address. Okay, and setup tool.setup you need to give, provide, these are the information here. Okay, so basically what it will happen, it will look for everywhere this constructor dot okay, this constructor file, and it will install this folder as my local package. Okay, so that is the use of this setup.py. Okay, because let's say I want to import something from components. Okay, let's say I want to import from src dot ml project dot components dot import data ingestion. Okay, if I want to import like that, so first of all I need to install this like folder as my local package. Okay, and to install it you need this setup.py file. Okay, I think this should be clear now. Okay, now let me install it. So see, to install setup.py you need to mention this line. Okay, it will pick up this setup.py automatically. Now I'll open my terminal, I'll clear it. Okay, then I'll just write pip install -r requirement.txt. Okay, now let's install. So guys, it may take some time, let's wait. Okay, I will come back when it is done. So guys, as you can see, my installation has been completed. Okay, and there is no error, that means you have installed successfully. Okay, now what I will do, I will quickly commit the changes. So I'll open my terminal again and clear it. I'll just write git add. I think I already have the command git add. Okay, then git commit. I'll change the commit message here, requirements added. Okay, then I'll just write git push origin main. Yeah, it's done. Now if I go back, refresh. Okay, see requirements added, and if you want to verify you can open any kinds of file here, setup.py, see code is there. Okay, now we have also completed our requirement installation of our project. So the first thing what I will do, first of all I will complete writing my login, exception, and utils module. Okay, because as you can see, if I open my src ml project, here I have utils. Okay, then I also need to create login and exception. Okay, with it. So how I can create login and exception? See, exception I won't be creating separately, because I'll be using something called box exception. Okay, from this library called python box. Okay, and and like logging, actually I'll be creating in a different folder. Okay, let me show you like where I'm gonna create the logging functionality. Okay, so here if you see inside src, okay, inside src I have created one constructor file. Okay, so instead of creating one like separate logging folder, okay, you can also write your logging functionality here just to make your import easy. Okay, now let me open this constructor file here. Okay, and I already prepared my custom logging. Okay, so let me show you. See guys, this is the custom logging. So this is nothing new. First of all, I'm importing operating system Cs and login. I'm initializing my logging string. So basically it will first of all save the ASCII time. Okay, then it will save the log level. Okay, like whether it's information related log or it's a bug level log. Okay, it will save that information. Then module, like which module actually you are running this code, it will save the module name and the message actually you want to print. Okay, so this is my simple logging string. Then what I'm doing, first of all, I'm creating one log folder. Okay, here inside that I'm creating one folder called running log. Okay, and after that I'm calling this basics config method. Okay, and I'm initializing everything, my logging string and all. Then I'm calling this two method called file handler and stream handler. So file handler, what it will do, it will create this log folder. Inside that it will save all the logging. Okay, and the stream handler, it will print my log in my terminal. Okay, I think you saw whenever I was executing the template.py, it was printing the log as well. Okay, in my terminal. That's why using this stream handler, you can also print the log in your terminal. Okay, then I'm initializing my logging here. Okay, ML project logger, you can give any name here. Okay, so now how it will work, let me show you. So for this, actually what I will do, I will, let's say, open this. Let's open this main.py. Okay, and here let's import my logging. Okay, so what I will do, I'll just write from mlflow, sorry, from ml project. Okay, it's not giving suggestion because here I haven't even selected my environment. I click here. I think it was ml proj, right? ml proj. Let me refresh again. ml proj, this is the environment. Okay, now if I write from ml project, okay, as you can see, this is the name of my folder, ml project. Okay, and I'll just write import logger. Okay, see, I think one thing you have mentioned, although I have src folder here, okay, I have also src folder here, but I'm directly calling this ml project. Okay, I'm directly calling this ml project. Okay, why? Because I have initialized my logging functionality in this constructor. Okay, that's why I don't need to call this src, okay, separately. I can directly call my ml project. Okay, I can also call like that from src .ml project.logger. I can also import like that, but if you want to ignore any kinds of folder, okay, you can mention this thing inside the constructor file and you can also import it. Okay, so this is another approach actually I usually follow in some of my project. Okay, that's why I thought let me show you as well. Okay, so instead of creating logging file function like logging functionality separately, you just keep it inside constructor file inside ml project. Okay, and you can also import like that. Okay, now we have imported the logger. Now I'll just log one information here. Let's say I'll call login, or let's say logger dot info. Okay, and here I will give some message. Let's say welcome to our custom logging. Okay, now let me save it and let me execute now. Okay, now let me show you like how it will save. Now I'll just write python main.py. See guys, first of all, it will give you the logging in your terminal. See, first of all, it is saving the timestamp. Okay, timestamp you ran your code with the date also. Okay, then it is telling information related log. Now it is also giving the module name. Okay, see, I have run from main.py, it is giving the main. Okay, now it is giving the message as well, the message we have given called welcome to our custom log. As you can see, welcome to our custom log. Okay, now left hand side you can see it has also created one folder called logs. Inside that it has created running logs. Okay, now if I open it, now you can see the same message. Okay, yeah, okay, that is the like use of my custom logging. Okay, so using this custom logging functionality, you can debug your code very easily. Let's say you have hosted your project. Okay, you have deployed your project in a cloud platform. There actually you won't be getting any terminal to monitor your code. Okay, so at that time, if you have this kinds of logging functionality added with your code, you can download these are the logging file. Okay, from your remote server, and you can see like what happened in your code. Okay, if it failed somewhere, okay, so you can see that and you can directly fix that code, okay, for you. So that is why actually we add this kinds of custom logging functionality, okay, in our code. Okay, so this was like custom log. Now what I will do, I will create my utility. Okay, utils. So here left hand side you can see I have one folder called utils. Okay, now let me open the utils, and here I have created one file called common.py. Okay, let me open up. Now first of all let me tell you like what is utils. Okay, see, utils is nothing but those functionality you'll be using frequently in your code. Okay, so we call it utils. Okay, let's say you want to read YAML file, okay, in all of your components. Okay, so instead of writing that read YAML function everywhere, what you can do is just keep it inside common.py, inside utils. Okay, and whenever you need it, just try to import from here. Okay, so that means those functionality you will be using frequently in your code. Okay, instead of writing them every time in the component, just keep it in the utils file. Okay, and whenever you need it, just call from here. Okay, that's why you are making reusability of your code. Okay, so whenever we try to follow modular coding passion, so at the time we follow these are the structure only. Okay, so that's why I will be keeping some of the utility related functions, okay, here of this project. Okay, so I already prepared some of the utility related functions, so let me show you what are the function actually I'll be using here. So let me just show it here. Okay, see guys, first of all I'm importing some of the libraries. I'm importing box exception. As I already told you, I'll be using something called box exception. Okay, box value adder. Okay, every time I'm calling this box value adder. Okay, instead of writing your custom like exception. Okay, you can either create your custom exception, but this package is pretty good. Okay, you can follow this approach also, it's completely fine. Okay, then YAML I'm importing, then logger I'm importing also. Okay, the logger we have created, then JSON job lib. Okay, then ensure annotation, I will tell you like what is ensure annotation and all. Box I'm importing, config box. Okay, I'll tell you why I'm importing config box. Path. Okay, I already told you why I'm using path. Okay, whenever I was creating that template.py, and typing. Okay, so the first method I'm initializing here called read YAML, because I want to read YAML, lots of YAML file. As you can see, I have lots of YAML file in my code. Okay, I want to read them. Okay, so for that actually I need some of the functions. Okay, to read my YAML. As you can see, I'm creating one read YAML file, and this is the simple Python code to how to load one YAML file. Okay, and I'm returning as config box. Okay, the content I'm returning as config box. Okay, I'll tell you like why I'm using config box. Okay, then on top of that you can see I'm using ensure annotation. Okay, again I will tell you like why I'm using this decorator here. Okay, then again I'm creating another method called create directories, because I also want to create some of the directories. Okay, I will be creating artifacts. Inside artifacts I'll be creating data ingestion, data validation, model chainer. Okay, so to create this I need this function. Okay, again this should be frequent use function. That's why instead of writing into my components I'm keeping inside my utility. Okay, then save JSON, then load JSON. Okay, save beans, then load beans. Okay, then get size. So these are the basics functionality actually you need actually in any kinds of end-to-end project. Okay, that's why I'm keeping here. Okay, although I won't be using all the functionality here, but I'm just keeping just for your reference. Okay, so I think now it's clear like what is utility. Okay, in my code. Now let me explain what is this config box and ensure annotation. Okay, so for this I will open this. I'll go to the research. Okay, there I have created one trial just IPONB file. Okay, I'll open this one. Okay, I'll explain this example here. Let me save it here. Okay, first of all I will select the kernel Python environment. I created MLPROJ. Okay, so this is the environment I'll be selecting. Okay, all right. So first of all let me explain like what is config box. Okay, why you need config box. Let's say I'll define one dictionary here. Okay, so D is equal to let's say I mentioned one key. You can replace any key with that, and with respect to that I have one value here. Okay, then I will again take one key one. Okay, then let's say it has again one value. Okay, I'll name it as value 1. All right, so this is a simple dictionary, I think you know, in Python. Okay, now let's say if I want to access this value, so what so how I'll access this value. Okay, I think in dictionary you know we usually call like that. Okay, D, I'll provide this name. Okay, key name here. Okay, if I pass key here, so it will return me the value. Okay, but can I read this value? Okay, instead of giving the key like that, can I give like that D dot key, D dot key? If I give like that, will it work? Okay, now let me execute. See, it will give me error. Dict object has no attribute key. Okay, it's telling like that. Okay, although I have key, but again it is not recognizing, because in dictionary actually we usually call like that. Okay, but if I want to call like that, so I can use something called config box. Okay, so let me input config box here from box. So there is a box package. Now I'll import my config box. Okay, now what I will do, I'll again define one D2, and instead of writing this dictionary directly here, I'll call my config box class first of all. Okay, and inside that I will mention my dictionary. Okay, the dictionary I created, I'll copy and I'll paste it here. Okay, now if I print my D2 here, now you'll see the object type should be config box type output. Okay, now if I call D2 dot key right now, see, I'm able to access this value. Okay, so what is doing here actually, so I'm making this simple dictionary to this config box type output. Okay, as you can see, config box type object, so that I can also access any kinds of value, okay, using the key name. Okay, instead of giving like that, because whenever you are, let's say, lots of configuration, okay, because why I'm doing like that, as you can see inside commons, I will be reading lots of YAML file, and inside YAML file I will be having lots of configuration. Okay, so if I want to read those configuration, instead of giving the name like that, okay, if I call like that, so this approach should be very much easy to call any kinds of configuration I will be using in my code. Okay, so that's why we'll be using this config box. Okay, so everywhere, as you can see, whenever I was reading this YAML file, I'm returning as config box type output, so that I can access those value using the key name only. Okay, instead of giving inside the list. Okay, that is why I'm using config box. Okay, I think this should be clear. Now let me explain what is this ensure annotation. Okay, ensure annotation I'm using on top of every function I have created. Okay, so for this I'll define one simple method here, okay, called get product. So this method, what it will do, it will take two input x and y, and this should be integer type, and it again, after doing the product operation, it will return integer type output. Okay, so this is a simple product, I think you know, in Python. Okay, now if you want to call it, just call by the function name, and here I'm providing x is equal to 2, y is equal to 4. Okay, now if I execute, see, it will return me the correct number. Okay, 8. 2 multiplied by 4, it's 8. Okay, now if I do like that, okay, instead of giving the 4 like that, okay, instead of giving 4 as a integer, if I give to string, will it work? Okay, just think about in your mind, will it work or not? Okay, let me execute and show you. See, still it is working. Although I mentioned this y type should be integer, x type should be integer. X type it's completely fine for me, I've given integer, but y type I'm giving as string. Okay, but still it is able to work. Okay, and you are getting some different output. Okay, so let's say you have written a lot bigger code, bigger project. At the time you did these kinds of mistake. Okay, these kinds of like functionality you have already written, and you are getting unexpected output. At the time you will go mad, right? What is happening in my code? I'm not getting my proper output. Okay, although I've mentioned my data type here. Okay, to overcome this kinds of issue, I have something called ensure annotation. Okay, now let me open, first of all, import the ensure annotation. So from ensure, you can use ensure annotation. Okay, let me import. Now what I will do, I'll copy the same function. Okay, I'll copy the same function, and on top of that, I'll just mention this decorator, ensure annotation. Okay, decorator, just give @ and give it. Okay, here. Now if I execute it, now again I'll call my function. Okay, again I'll call my function. I'll give integer because I have given integer here. Okay, so it is working. Okay, now I'll call the second one as well. Now let me see what happens. So if I give second one now see, it is throwing error. It's telling argument y type okay, to does not match the annotation type, because it is telling you have mentioned integer here, but you are trying to pass string. Okay, that is why it's throwing error. Okay, now see one thing you have learned, you can fix these kinds of small bugs, okay, using these are the library. Okay, ensure annotation, config box, these are the thing. Okay, now see, this will make your code like very professional. So whenever you are writing any kinds of production level code, so at the time you can use these are the library. So I was exploring these are the library, and I thought let's also integrate with my code. Okay, so that I can show you how we can handle this kinds of issue. Okay, now here every time, as you can see, whenever I'm creating any functionality, function, or let's say method, I'm calling this ensure annotation everywhere. Okay, because everywhere I'm mentioning my data type. Okay, and if user is passing some different data type, so it will be throwing error. Okay, that is why this ensure annotation is needed. Okay, now I think this thing is clear. Now let me save it. Yeah, so we have successfully completed our exception logger and our utils. Okay, now let me just quickly push the changes. So what I will do, see, instead of pushing from your terminal, if you're using VS Code, left hand side you can see something called source control. Okay, you can just click here, and you can also commit from here. Just give the commit message. So I'll give exception logger and utils added. Okay, now I'll just click on commit. So those who are doing for the first time, it may ask for the authentication with your GitHub. Just try to approve everything, and you can also able to do it. Okay, now I'll just sync the changes. Sync the changes means you are pushing the changes. Okay, but for me, I've already configured everything. That's why it's not giving anything. Okay, now if I go back to my GitHub, now if I refresh here, now see, it has committed. Okay, so yeah guys, I have done, and see, if it is not working for you, you can directly do from the terminal itself. Okay, as I already did, okay, previously. You can also do it like that. Okay, so yes guys, we have completed our logging exception and utils. Okay, so now what I will give you, I will give you the project overflow actually will be following. Okay, because as you can see here, we have lots of files and folder. Okay, now one question in your mind, which file I need to change first? Okay, which file I need to change last? Okay, here. So these are the workflows actually. First of all, you need to understand, then we will be updating our project. Okay, so first of all, let me give you the workflows overview, like what are the things actually we're gonna update. Okay, which file I will be updating first, which file I'll be updating last. Okay, let me give you the workflow of the project. Okay, so guys, now let's discuss like what should be the workflows of our entire project. So let me write down all the workflows here. See, these are the workflows actually you will be following throughout this entire project. Okay, so first of all, I'll be updating my config.yaml file. Okay, as you can see, inside config folder, I have one file called config.yaml file. So this file actually I'll be updating first. Okay, then I'll be updating my schema.yaml. As you can see, schema.yaml file will be updating. What is schema? Schema is nothing but it's just a file. Actually here you mention all the columns actually you have in your data, okay, with respect to the data type. Okay, so we call it schema. And we will be also updating params.yaml. As you can see, params.yaml. So inside params.yaml actually we'll be writing all of the parameters actually we'll be using in our project. Okay, let's say I think I already showed you with the elastic net there actually I was maintaining two parameters called alpha value and annual ratio. Okay, so instead of giving that thing in the runtime, okay, in the command line, what I will do, I'll give it inside params.yaml. Okay, I will write all the parameters here so that user can change here. Okay, and it will reflect in my every code. Okay, then I will also update my entity. As you can see here, I have folder called entity. Inside that I have config entity. So I'll be updating this entity. Then after that, I'll be updating something called configuration manager in src folder config. Okay, here I have another config folder. Inside I have configuration.py. Okay, so this folder will be making the change. Okay, after the entity. Then I'll update my components. Okay, components means like data ingestion, data validation, data transformation. These are the components I'll be updating. Then I'll be updating my pipeline. As you can see, I have also created one pipeline folder. Okay, basically all the components I'll be integrating with the pipeline. Okay, I'll be making my training pipeline separate and prediction pipeline separate. Okay, then I will be updating my main.py. As you can see, main.py will be updating. Then instead of dvcml, I will also need to update my app.py. Okay, yeah, so app.py. As you can see, I have also app.py. Inside app.py, I'll be writing my UI related functionality, and I'll integrate this main.py with my app.py. So user will run this app.py and it will access all the code. Okay, here. So yes guys, this is my entire workflows of this entire project. Okay, so this file will be following and will be updating the entire project. Okay, so guys, now let's start with our first component. Okay, which is nothing but data ingestion. So before starting with our actual implementation, like our modular coding implementation, first of all I will do the experiment. Okay, with this notebook. Then if this notebook is working fine, then I will try to convert that notebook to our modular coding. Okay, so for this actually what I will do, I will create one file inside research. Okay, and I will name it as let me create one file 01, because this is going to be my first component. Okay, or you can talk about stage. So data underscore ingestion dot ipynb. Okay, because this is the extension of your notebook file, ipynb. Okay, fine. So first of all, let me close. These are the thing. This is not required. Okay, so first of all I will select my kernel here. So ml project. Okay, this is the kernel. So the first thing what I need to do, I'll import OS. Okay, operating system module, import OS. And if I show you one thing, okay, if I execute, let's say my project working directory, pwd. So you can see I'm inside research folder, okay, but I want to go back to my project folder, okay, because this is my project folder. Okay, every job I'll be performing from my project folder only. So that's why I need to go back. Okay, I need to go back just one folder back. That means machine learning project with mlflow, this folder. Okay, I need to go back. So how I can go back? So there is a method inside OS called change directory. Okay, chdir. Here you just need to give dot dot slash. Okay, that means you want to go back just one folder. Okay, now if I execute it, now if I again write pwd, so now you can see I'm inside my project folder only. Okay, so the first thing what I need to do, as I already written in my readme file, I need to update my config.yaml file. Okay, so let's open this config.yaml file and let's mention our data ingestion related configuration. Okay, so I already prepared data ingestion related configuration. Just let me show you. See guys, these are your data ingestion related configuration. So here basically the first thing what I'm doing, I'm defining one artifacts route. Okay, so basically whenever you will execute your pipeline, okay, training pipeline, so it will create one folder called artifacts. Okay, inside artifacts it will save all the artifacts related to your data ingestion, data validation, data transformation, model trainer, model evaluation, everything. Okay, so that's why this is the root folder I'm creating. First of all, inside that I'm defining my data ingestion related configuration here. So first of all, I'll be creating one folder called data ingestion inside artifacts. Okay, then this is the source URL, my data download URL. So basically what I have done, let me just copy this URL, and if I go to Google, so this is the same data I have downloaded from this Kaggle I showed you. Okay, and I have already mentioned, I think, in that MLflow experiment, okay, link there. So I've already downloaded the data, and what I did, just let me show you, make one zip file. Okay, I've just made one zip file. If I extract it, okay, see, this is the wine quality CSV data. Just make a zip file. Okay, so if you're using any kinds of zip option, I'm using 7-zip here. Okay, and I have made it a zip file. Okay, now after making a zip file, what I did, let me show you. I just uploaded this zip file in my GitHub. Okay, so let me open my repository. I uploaded this thing. So there is a repository I have called branching tutorial. Okay, you can create any kinds of dummy repository, and here you can just upload it. Okay, so let me just open it up. Now what you need to do, just drag and drop here. Okay, just you need to hold it and drag and drop here, so it will upload automatically here. Okay, see, it's uploading. Okay, then after that, just click on commit, it will upload. Then what you need to do, I have already uploaded, I'll just cancel it. Okay, let me show you like how I've copied the link. Now this was wine quality data, right? So let me just figure out the name. Yeah, this is the wine quality data. Just click here and you can see the view rows. Okay, just right click on it and copy the link address. Okay, copy the link address. Now if I paste the link address, it is the same. Okay, link. Now copy this link and just mention in your code. Okay, so let me open my code, just mention in your code. Okay, that's how you can also zip your data, okay, and upload in your GitHub repository. Okay, although I provide my repository link. Okay, but if there is some issue with my link, okay, you can upload your data in your repository. Okay, it's completely fine. Then I'm creating another directory called local data file. Okay, that means when it will download that data, okay, where it will save, it will save inside data ingestion as a zip data.zip. Okay, this name. Okay, with this name it will save inside this folder. Then you need to perform also unzip operations. So after unzipping, again I'm saving inside my data ingestion. Okay, that's how you can like assign different path, or if you're using any link, you can assign inside that. Okay, so that in future, let's say you want to change this data URL, just change it here, it will reflect in your every code. Okay, you are not supposed to go to your folder, okay, inside the components, and you don't need to change it inside the entire code. Okay, only just open this config.yaml file and change it here, and it will reflect in your every code. Okay, instead of hard coding this value. Okay, so that is the convenience of this config.yaml file. Okay, now config.yaml file we have created successfully. Now schema.yaml, as of now I don't need schema.yaml. Whenever I will work with my data validation, at the time I will do it. Okay, then params.yaml, you are not supposed to write it as of now, because whenever I will be writing my model trainer, at that time I will define my param.yaml. Okay, now I'll update my entity. Okay, so in notebook, let me prepare one entity here. So entity is nothing but it's just a return type of a function. Okay, so let me show you. I already prepared the entity, my data ingestion related entity. See guys, I'm importing data class. Okay, from this data class, I'm also importing path. Okay, so here I'm creating one class called data ingestion config, and I'm decorating with data class. Okay, so this is not a Python class, it is a data class. Okay, so in Python class, actually, if you are defining class variables, you need to give self here. Okay, but instead of self, if you want to define the variable, you can use something called data class. Okay, so here you can see I have defined data class, and this is my root directory, source URL, local files, and unzip directory. Okay, if you just open the config.yaml, the same thing I'm just copying, okay, this key, and I'm just pasting here. So basically what it will do, so whenever I will define my function, okay, like configuration function, at that time this should be the return type of that function. Okay, these are the like variable it would be returned. Okay, nothing else. Only I have mentioned 4 variable it will be returning these 4 kinds of variable, like root directory, source URL, local directory, and unzip directory. Okay, so only these 4 variable will return. Otherwise, if you mention anything, it won't be returning. Okay, that's how we can also define the return type of a function. Okay, using this data class. I'll show you like whenever I will define as a return type. Okay, as of now, just try to consider this is a return type of a function. Okay, this is the entity. Now let me execute. So the first thing what I will do, I will open my constant, because now I need to read my YAML file. Okay, read my YAML file to read these are the configuration. So for this, how I can read it? So there is a constant I created. I think you remember. Just open this constructor file, and here just write this line of code. Okay, so basically I'm using path, and again this is a forward slash, and to prevent this forward slash issue, you can use path class. Okay, and you just mention it here. It will return all the paths. So I'm returning my config file path, params YAML file path. Okay, here left hand side, and my schema YAML file path, as you can see. Okay, so these are the path I'm returning, and these are the variable. Okay, now I need to import it inside my notebook. Okay, how I can import it? So simple, just call from mlflow, from ml project.constant. Okay, import star. That means I am importing everything. Okay, whatever variable I have here, I'm importing everything. Okay, this star represents. Now I also want to import my readyaml method and create directories method from my utils commons. Okay, if you open my commons.py, I'm importing these 2 method, readyaml and my create directories here. Okay, as you can see, ml project dot utils dot common. Okay, that means ml project dot utils dot common import readyaml and create directories. Okay, that's it. Now let me execute. Yeah, now what I need to do, I need to update my configuration manager inside src config. So there is a configuration, we have created configuration.py. This thing we need to update, but we are not updating in the file, we are doing everything in the notebook. Okay, so let me define it here. So this should be a configuration manager. Okay, so I'll define one class called configuration manager. Inside that, I'll be reading all the YAML file. As you can see, I'm calling it from here. Okay, config params schema path, and I'm mentioning inside class variable. Okay, then after that, I'm using readyaml method, and I'm giving the path here. It will return all the configuration in the variable. Okay, so first thing what I'm doing, I'm creating the root artifacts root. Okay, that means if I open this one, I'm creating the artifacts folder here. Okay, after that, I'll define my data ingestion related configuration. Okay, so let me just show you how I've defined this configuration. See guys, this is a simple function I have written called get data ingestion configuration, and I'm defining this data ingestion config I have created, this entity. This should be the return type of this function. Okay, so here I'm not doing anything. I'm creating the root directories. First of all, root directory means I'm creating data ingestion directories. Okay, these directories, because this configuration is coming from here, config, right? I'm reading the config here. As you can see, config data ingestion. Okay, config data ingestion, and I can access all the configuration from here. Okay, that is what I'm accessing one by one. Source URL, again if I come here, source URL. Okay, then local data file path. Okay, then my unzip directory, if I open it, unzip directory. Okay, that's how we can access. Okay, you can access from this configuration. Okay, and here if you see, this function only will return, these are the variable only, root directory, source URL, local data file, and unzip directory. Okay, this for variable only, because I have defined my return type, as you can see. Okay, using this entity, I have only told my method you need to only return these 4 variable. Okay, that's why I'm returning this thing. Okay, now I think you got it. What is like entity? Okay, why we use entity? Because if I open this one here, if you see, I have defined everywhere my return type of a function. Let's say this function will return as a config box type output. Okay, and I already discussed config box. Okay, now if you want to create your custom return type of any function, you can use this data class. Okay, you can use this entity and you can create these are the thing here. Okay, now see, this will return this for variable only inside this return ingestion config, this object. Okay, now let me execute. Now what I will do, I will update my components. Okay, so components nothing but my data ingestion components, like how it will ingest the data. So for this, again, I will import some of the libraries here. So these are the libraries that are needed. So request, I'll be using request to download my data from this URL. Zip file I'll be using to unzip my data. Okay, logger, let's say if you want to do some logging, you can use logger. And get size. Okay, I also want to see the like file size, that's why I will be using get size. Okay, now let me execute. So first of all, I will define one class called data ingestion. Okay, and it will take your data ingestion config. So this configuration it will take. Okay, because from this configuration only it will get to know these are the path, right? That is why. Now I'll define the first method called download data. So this method is responsible for downloading the data from the URL. Okay, see, this is a simple function, download data. So basically, first of all, it will create a directory called data ingestion. Inside data ingestion, it will download the data from this URL. Okay, from this URL, and after that, it will like save the log, like downloaded this data from this URL. Okay, and if like data is already exist, so it will give you like file is already exist here. Okay, now after downloading the data as a zip file, I also need to perform the unzip operation. Okay, so for this, I have defined another method called extract zip file. Okay, so it will take this unzip directory. Okay, and it will take the zip data like path, as you can see, local data file path. That means this path it will take, and it will unzip the data to this data ingestion. Okay, this folder. Now I'll execute and I'll show you like what is happening. Okay, now let me execute. Now this thing is done. Now I need to update my pipeline. Okay, so to create the pipeline, so I have already defined the pipeline. So this is the pipeline. Okay, first of all, I'm initializing my configuration manager here. Configuration manager. From this configuration manager, I'm calling my get data ingestion config. Okay, this method get data ingestion config, and this thing I'm returning inside my data ingestion class. Okay, this class, because it will take data ingestion config. Okay, so if you're already familiar with object-oriented programming, I think you are getting okay what I'm doing. So as you can see, I'm passing this data ingestion config here. Okay, then after that, I'm calling my this method. First of all, download data file. Okay, first of all, it will download the data. Then I'm like doing the unzip operation. Okay, so here you can see I'm following step by step. Okay, first of all, I'm downloading the data and I'm extracting the zip file. Okay, that's why we call it pipeline. Okay, step by step we are following this stage. Okay, we are not like that. We are first of all extracting the file, then downloading the data. Okay, you don't need to do it like that. First of all, you need to download the data, then extract the file. Okay, in the pipeline we just define this thing as a step wise. Okay, that is the thing. Now let me execute and show you like whether it's working or not. Okay, so I'll just execute the code. Okay, it's giving error because it's telling YAML file is empty. Okay, so if YAML file is empty, just open your YAML file. Let's say I have 3 YAML file already. I have filled this config.yaml, right? I only have schema and params. Okay, so here just give some dummy value. Okay, so I'll just give eval. This file should not be empty. Okay, otherwise it will create issue. That is why eval. Okay, I'll copy the same thing and I will open my params.yaml as well. I'll paste it here. Now again, let me execute. It should work. See guys, it's ingesting the data. See, it has done the ingesting. Okay, now you can see the log also in the terminal. Okay, because I have mentioned inside my logging functionality, and it is also telling the size of the file and all. Okay, like when it is downloaded and everything it is giving. Now left hand side you can see it has created artifacts folder. Okay, inside artifacts it has created data ingestion folder. Inside data ingestion, first of all, it has ingested the data using data.zip, because I have mentioned here, as you can see, data.zip. Okay, after that, this data.zip it has unzipped. Okay, now see, this is the wine quality rate.csv. So this file I had okay in my zip file. Okay, now I think this thing is very much clear, like what I am doing. Okay, in these components, first of all, I'm downloading the data. After that, I'm unzipping the data and I'm creating these are the folder structure only. Okay, that's it. Okay, so guys, you have successfully completed your data ingestion. That means it's working fine, and our notebook experiment is also working fine. Now what I need to do, I need to convert this notebook to our modular coding. Okay, so how I can do it? So first of all, let me save this file. Okay, so to convert it to our modular coding, it's very easy. I'll just copy pasting the code only. That's it. Okay, so again, just open up your readme file and see. First of all, what you need to do, you need to update your config.yaml, which I have already updated. Okay, I don't need to update. schema I don't need, params I don't need. I need to update my entity. Okay, now let's figure out the entity you have here. So this is my entity, config entity. Let me open and just copy copy the entity from here. So let me copy config entity, just paste it. Okay, just copy paste the code. Okay, that's it. Now I need to update my configuration manager in src config. Okay, configuration manager inside config. Okay, now open it up and uh, just copy this code, configuration, paste it here, and also copy this class, configuration manager. Okay, this is your entire configuration manager and mention it here. That's it. Okay, now it's telling this data ingestion config is missing, so let me import it as well. So from ml project dot entity, okay, import data ingestion config. Okay, it's not giving because okay, it should be config entity dot config entity. Now it should work. Okay, yeah, now you can see everything is fine. Okay, there is no error. Now let me save it. Now what I need to do, I have updated already this config manager. Now I need to update my components. Okay, so I'll come back to the components folder. Here I will be creating one file called data ingestion, data underscore ingestion .py. Okay, now I'll open my notebook again, just copy this same code. I'll do the import first of all, my data ingestion here. Let me paste it. Then I'll copy the class, data ingestion class I've created. Okay, you need to import path first of all here. So let me import path. So from path lib, import path. Then I also need to import this data ingestion config, so which I already imported, I think, here. So let me just copy paste from here. Okay, I'll mention it like that. All right, so let me see, anything is missing here. I think everything is fine. Okay, everything is fine. Now we have successfully created the components as well. Now I'll be creating the pipeline. Okay, so here I have created another folder called pipeline. Okay, so let me open the pipeline. So here I will be creating one file called stage01, because this is the first stage. Okay, I'll just name it as data ingestion.py. Okay, so here again I will import some of the libraries. So these are the libraries you need. Configuration manager, because if I show you in my notebook, see, I was initializing my configuration manager, this okay, class here. That's why I'm importing this class. Then I also need my data ingestion, because I was also passing inside my data ingestion. Okay, that's why I'm also importing it here. Okay, then logger. Then after that I will define my stage name. Okay, I will create one class. I'm naming this stage name as data ingestion because this is my data ingestion stage. Then I'm creating one class called data ingestion training pipeline, and this constructor file I'm giving it pass because it is not doing anything here. Okay, inside that I'll be creating one method called main. Let me create the method def main self. Okay, now you just simply copy paste the code you have written here. Just copy paste this code. Okay, this is your pipeline. Just give it here. That's it. Okay, nothing new. So we have just copy pasted from our notebook only. Now let me save it. Now you need to call this method inside this main method. Okay, so basically I'm telling my data stage, like this stage, data ingestion stage has started. Then I'm initializing this class. Inside this class I'm calling this main. Okay, this main. Okay, then I'm telling this stage has been completed. If it is running successfully, then if there are some issue with this, I'm raising the exception. That's it. Okay, now this pipeline, if you want to test it, you need to add it with your main. Okay, so let me open this main.py. So here, first of all, you need to import your data ingestion training pipeline. Okay, so let me import with the logger. Okay, first of all, I'm importing logger, and I'm importing my from ML project. As you can see, from ML project pipeline, because we have created this pipeline. Okay, then stage 0 1 data ingestion, and I'm importing this data ingestion pipeline. Okay, this class. Then after that, I'll remove it. Again, I'll define the same code only. Okay, here data ingestion stage. Okay, data ingestion stage started. As you can see, I'm giving the stage name. I'm again logging this stage has started. Then I'm calling this class. I'm calling this main method. Okay, from this class. As you can see, it has this method, main method. If you call this main method, it will start entire pipeline. Okay, that is why. Now let me go back main. Okay, then if everything is fine, I'm giving it's completed. Okay, then I'm handling the exception. That's it. Okay, now let me test it whether it's working or not. Now I'll open it, my terminal. So to test it, first of all, I need to delete these artifacts. Okay, so let me delete these artifacts. Now let me test it. So I'll clear my terminal. Now I'll execute this main.py. Okay, so I'll just write python main.py. Now see guys, it's running. That means everything is working fine. Now let me go back. See, ingested the data and unzipped the data. Okay, that means our first stage is working completely fine. This data ingestion. Okay, we have successfully completed data ingestion. Okay, we'll be following the same technique to create our further stage, further component like data validation as well. Our data transformation, model trainer, everything will be writing in the same way. Okay, we have already did. Now let me just quickly commit the data changes. I will click here. I'll just write data ingestion edit. You can also commit from your terminal. It's completely fine. Sync the changes. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention, because let me go back. If I go to my repository, if I refresh, you will see artifacts will also come here. See, artifacts will also come here, but I don't want to push the artifacts. Okay, so what I can do, I can open my .git ignore, and here I can mention this artifacts folder. So it will ignore that artifacts. Okay, because I don't need the artifacts. Okay, to be commit artifacts slash star everything. Okay, because everything I want to ignore inside this artifacts. Okay, now if I go back, yeah, now if I again commit this my changes, okay, still artifacts is there, because what I need to do, I need to delete this artifacts first of all. So let me open my folder. I will remove these artifacts. Now I will open my code. Now let me again push it. Sorry, here. Now see, artifacts is not there. Okay, so going forward, it won't be uploaded to artifacts because we have mentioned inside .git ignore. Okay, now we have successfully completed data ingestion. Now let's start with our data validation. Okay, so guys, we have completed our data ingestion and it is working fine. So now what I will do, I will start with our next component, which is nothing but data validation. Okay, so for this, actually, let me just close these are the thing first of all. Okay, I'll keep this because I'll copy some of the code from here. Okay, fine. Let's do the notebook experiment first of all, then I will do the modular coding. So I'll create another file inside research called 02 data validation .ipynb. Okay, again I need to go back to my project directory, so I'll just copy paste the same code. First of all, let me select the kernel. Okay, see, if you have done just one stage, so your rest of the stage would be very easy. The same thing, just copy. You need to copy only your entity configuration and components will be different. Okay, otherwise the process would be same. Okay, now let me just execute pwd again. Okay, see, I'm inside project folder. Okay, now I can remove this thing, I think. Yeah. So the first thing, from the readme I need to update my config.yaml. So let's update my config.yaml. So here now you need to mention your data validation related configuration. Okay, so here let me just write it down. Yeah, so these are my data validation related configuration. Again, what I am doing, I'm creating another folder called data validation inside artifacts. Then I'm giving my unzip directory. Okay, so this is the data directory I'm giving. So if I open my artifacts, so let me just run the code once again. My main.py. Okay, see, inside artifacts I have this wine quality data CSV, because I want to read this data inside my data validation. Okay, then I will do the validation, right? So how I am getting this path, I'm mentioning it here: artifact slash data ingestion slash wine quality rate.csv, this data. Okay, here you can mention this path, and status file I'm keeping inside data validation. Let's say whenever it will do the verification, or let's say validation of your data, if your data is in correct format, it will return this validation status as true. Otherwise, it will return as validation status as false. Okay, if something wrong with your data set, it will return the false status. Okay, and if it is false status, then we won't be starting the training pipeline. Okay, because if your data is not in correct format, then why you will be starting the training pipeline? Okay, because again it needs computational cost. So before starting the training, we need to check the data, then we'll start the training. Okay, that's why data validation is needed. So what kinds of validation actually we'll be doing inside data validation? We'll be doing the schema validation. Okay, so for this actually I mentioned one file called schema.yaml. Now let's update this schema.yaml. Okay, so I already updated this schema, so just let me copy paste from my notebook. Okay, see, this is the schema is nothing but how many columns your data is containing. Okay, and what is the name and what is the data type. Okay, you can see in this data set I have fixed acidity, volatile acidity, citric acid. Okay, then these are the columns I have, and this is my target column. Okay, and with respect to that I have given the data type as well. Now you can ask me from where I got this information. Okay, so for this actually you can do the experiment inside data validation notebook. Now let's open this data validation notebook. So here first of all I will import pandas, then I will read my data from my artifacts. Okay, see, this is the path I'm giving. Now if I show you the head, you can see this is your data. Okay, and these are all of your column. Okay, but if you want to see like the data type of each and every column, you just run data.info. It will show you column name with respect to the data type. Okay, from that actually I got to know, then I mentioned here. Okay, now I think this thing is clear, like I have mentioned my schema. Okay, now I also need to do some of the EDA. I want to see like if there is some missing value or not, because as I already told you, this data set is like already prepared for us. Okay, that's why I picked up this data set, so that it would be easy for me to explain. Okay, but if you're working with some other data set, it might have some missing value. Okay, there actually you need to perform lots of EDA tasks and need to first of all clean the data set. Okay, you can do it because you know EDA. Instead of focusing on EDA in this project, I'm only focusing on the pipeline creation. Okay, now if you have EDA, now if you have some complex data, okay, you just perform the EDA, first of all clean the data inside data validation, then try to do it. Okay, then try to follow these steps. Okay, what I'm doing. But in this case actually I don't have any missing data and all, that's why I won't be handling these other thing. Okay, now if I show you my data shape, so this is the record you have, and this is the column. I have 12 column. Okay, in this data set. Now if you want to see all the column name, just write data.column, it will print all the column. Okay, so yes, these are the basics analysis I have done in this data. Okay, but you can also add lots of EDA part if you want. Okay, now I'll finally prepare my entity, because I've already mentioned here. So let's prepare the entity. The same entity I have defined here also. If I open my config.yaml, see, root directory, unzip data and status file. Okay, the root directory, status file, unzip, and all schema. Okay, so basically I want to read the schema and I want to save it here. That's why I'm taking another like variable here called all schema, because I want to store all the schema here. Okay, as a dictionary format. That is why. Okay, now let me execute. Now I'll again prepare my configuration manager. Okay, so for this I need these two packages, read YAML and create directories. Then I will prepare my configuration manager class. I think you remember the same configuration manager class we have defined. I'm reading these are the config params and schema. That's it. Then after that, I will prepare my get validation config. So inside that, I will be returning all of the variable I have defined inside my entity. That's it. Okay. See here. This should be the return type. Here I have mentioned, and I'm returning them one by one. Okay. After reading inside this config, and I'm returning, as you can see here. Okay. Then let me execute. Now what I will do, I will create my components. Okay. Now let me create the components. So for this, first of all, I will import some of the libraries, OS and logger. Then I will create my data validation. Okay, this is the component's name, and it will take your data validation configuration. Then I will create one final method called validate all columns. Okay, validate all columns. So this is a simple Python code. So what it will do, first of all, it will read your CSV file data. Okay, it will list down all the column. Then it will check. Okay, it will check with the schema like all the columns present in your data set or not. See all the column, it will take one by one, and it will check all the columns are present or not here. Okay, if it is present, it will return a status as true. Okay, otherwise it will return a status as false. Okay, see if it is not there, it is returning as false. Okay, and if everything is there, it is returning as true. It will create one status.txt file inside the artifacts, and it will return the validation status as true or false. Okay, that is the simple Python code I have written here. Okay, nothing else. See, I have only done one layer verification here. You can also add second layer verification to check the data type as well. Like simultaneously just check the column name exists or not with respect to that data type. Okay, is matching or not. Okay, you can also add this second layer verification I'm giving you as a task. Okay, you can also add it inside data validation, this validate all column. Inside this functionality you can also add. Okay, if you know Python, you can, I think, do it. Okay, this thing is very easy, just read it. Okay, separate out this value, okay, from this key, and try to also match the data type, okay, with respect to the column you have. Okay, now let me execute. Now I'll define my pipeline. Okay, pipeline is nothing but, again, I'm initializing my configuration manager. I'm getting my validate config. Okay, this method. Then after that, I'm calling this class data validation. I'm passing it to here, and I'm calling this validate all columns. Okay, that's it. Now let me execute and show you whether it's working or not. Again, it's giving error, unexpected out data directory. Okay, so where it is giving the error? It's giving here 22. Okay, it should be, I think, data directory. Let me just replace it here again. Yeah, now I think it's fine. Okay, it should be root data directory, status file, unzip directory, all schema, as you can see here. Okay, now I think it's fine. Now let me execute it again. Now I think it should work. See, it's done. Now if I open my artifacts, now see, it has created a data validation. Now if I open it, now see status.txt file. Now if you just open it, you can see validation status as true. Okay, that means our data is in correct format. Okay, if it is correct format, now let's say if I remove something from here, from this schema. Okay, now again if I execute the same code, now if I open my status, now see, it's giving false because it's not matching my schema. Okay, data schema, it's not matching. Okay, now I think you got it, like what kinds of verification we are doing. Okay, with that, now again let me run. Now it should be true, I think. Okay, see, validation status as true. Okay, that means we have successfully completed this notebook experiment of data validation. It's working fine. Now let's try to convert it thing as our modular coding. Okay, so for this, first of all, what I need to do, I will open my this thing I have updated. This thing also I have updated. Okay, I need to update my entity. Okay, so let's open the entity again, config entity, and I will copy paste the same code. This is my entity. Let me copy. Config entity. Okay, then I need to update what? I need to update my configuration manager. Okay, so let me open my configuration manager. I'll copy paste the same code from here. Here, this is the method because we have already defined the structure. So I don't need to update it again. Come here. After data ingestion, just mention data validation. Okay, and this thing I need to upload. I need to like call also. So I'll call it here. Okay, fine. Anything missing? Okay, I think it's fine. Now I need to update my components. Okay, so let me go back and I will come inside components. I will create another file called data validation. Okay, now I'll open it again and I will import this at the library. I will copy the same class I created. Okay, now I need to update this data validation config. So let me upload import from ml project dot entity dot config entity. Okay, import this data validation. Okay, anything is missing? I think pandas is missing, so let me import pandas as well. Import pandas as pd. Then I think everything is fine. Yeah, I think everything is fine. Okay, now it's done. Now let's create our pipeline. Okay, so I'll come to the pipeline again. I'll create another stage here called stage 02 data validation. Okay, again I will follow the same technique to write my pipeline. I will import this at the libraries and I will define one class with respect to the name of the stage. Okay, data validation, and this is the class. Inside that I will create one main method. Let me create a main method, def main self, and I'll just copy paste the code I created here. That's it. Okay, now I need to call it inside main function. Okay, logging started, calling this class, calling this main method from this class. Okay, and I'm telling completed, and if anything issue if anything issue with this code, then I'm raising the exception. That's it. Okay, now I need to integrate this thing with our main.py. So let me open the main.py. So first of all, I will import my data validation training pipeline. Okay, I'm importing data validation training pipeline. Then I'll write the same code only. Okay, I'll define my stage name, data validation started, data validation initializing. From this object, I'm calling this main method, and I'm calling it's completed, and I'm raising the exception. That's it. Okay, now let's see whether it's working or not. So for this, I will first of all remove these artifacts. Then I'll go back. Now let's run our main.py. Okay, so I'll write python main.py. Now see, it will first of all run your data ingestion pipeline, then it will run the data validation pipeline. Okay, one by one, because we have mentioned here, this is the pipeline. Okay, first of all, it is running data ingestion, then it is running the data validation. Now if I go to my data artifacts, now see, data ingestion, it has ingested data, and data validation, and status is true. Okay, that means everything is working fine for me. Okay, no issue with that. And see, this thing is like very easy. Okay, now whenever you are following this kinds of end-to-end project, if you have the correct template, okay, if you got the idea like how to do it, everything should be very easy. First of all, do the notebook experiment. Once it is working fine, just copy paste the same thing inside your components only. That's it. Okay, now let me just quickly commit the changes. So I'll just write data validation added. It's done. Now let me go back, refresh. Okay, data validation added. It's done. Okay, now guys, we have successfully completed two stages successfully, data ingestion, data validation. Now the next stage actually we'll be working on, which is nothing but data transformation. Okay, so guys, now let's start with our next component, which is nothing but our data transformation one. Okay, so let me close these are the thing again. Schema is not needed. Okay, fine. So again, I will create one resource folder, resource file here. I'll name it as 03 data transformation. Okay. Now, so I will select the kernel. Then again, I will copy paste the same code. Changing the directory to my project root. Okay, that's it. So first of all, I will update my config.yaml. So let me update. So this is my data transformation related configuration. So I'm creating one folder called data transformation inside artifacts. And here I'm just mentioning my data path. Okay, my data, this CSV path, mine quality data, artifacts slash data ingestion and quality data. Okay, this path I'm defining because whenever I will be reading the data inside data transformation, okay, at the time I need the path, okay, of my data. That's why. Okay, now I need to update my entity. So again, I will write the same data class and I will mention these two variable inside that. Yeah, as you can see, root directory and data path, root directory and data path. Okay, that's it. Now let me execute, and I'm naming it as data transformation config. Okay, then I will update my configuration. Okay, as you remember, I need to update my configuration manager. So again, I need to import this to library. Then I'll just copy the structure, same structure from here only. You can see same structure. This structure will remain common everywhere. Okay, yeah. Then after that, I will mention my get data transformation config. Okay, as you can see, it is the return type I have defined. Okay, and I'm just returning this to path, okay, one by one. Now let me execute. Now I'll import some of the library for my components. Now I need to create the components. Okay, so I'm importing trend split, okay, and pandas, because see what I will do inside data transformation, I will only do the 10th split. Okay, but let's say if your data, if you have lots of categorical value as well in your data, you can also apply some encoder technique here. Okay, if you want, but this dataset is already clean for me and everything is numerical representation, so I don't need to perform these are the thing. Okay, so that's why I will be only performing this trend split here. Okay, because I already told you I'm not focusing on EDA part, I'm not focusing on analysis part here. I'm just only focusing on the pipeline creation, end-to-end pipeline creation, and how we can integrate the MLflow with it. Okay, now it's up to you to perform these kinds of EDA, then these kinds of handling missing manual all, and handling encoding, and handling categorical value. You already know these are the thing. If you have worked with machine learning, you can add these are the thing functionality. Okay, in this data transformation as well. Okay, now let me import. Now I will define my component called data transformation, and here I've already written you can add different data transformation techniques such as scalar, PCA. Okay, you can perform all kinds of EDA in ML cycle. Okay, here before passing in your data into the ML model. Okay, I've already added. Now you can add so many functionality here. Okay, if you want. Okay, now here I'm only adding test split. Okay, in this example. Now let me just define this test split method here. Okay, this is the simple test split. Okay, first of all it will read the data, then after that it will do the test split. Okay, and it will save as a CSV file. Okay, in my data transformation folder. That's it. And I'm also logging like how many training example I have and how many like testing example I have. Okay, and as of now, see all the log it had saved. Okay, inside this running log. Okay, that's how it will also save. Now let me execute. Then I will define my pipeline. Okay, initializing configuration manager, getting this data transformation config, passing it to my data transformation, calling this test split. That's it. Okay, now let me execute. See, it ran successfully. So that many of record you have for training and 400 for testing. Okay, now if I open my artifacts, here it has created data transformation. Can you see? Okay, now inside that, this is my training and this is my testing. Okay, that means we have successfully. So guys, we have successfully done the data transformation and it has successfully splitted my data into training and testing. Okay, Now let's convert this to as our modular coding. So let me save it. Now what I will do, first of all, I will close this thing. Okay. Then I will open my entity first of all. So left hand side, I have my entity, config entity. I will copy paste the same code. Okay. Then I will copy this get data transformation. I will open my configuration.py inside config. Then I'll paste it after data validation. Then I need to import this as well. Here I will import. Okay, I think everything is fine. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll copy this thing, this import, and I will create one components inside components folder for data transformation. Paste it here. Then I'll copy the same class. Mention it here. Okay, anything is needed here. This thing is needed. I will import it from entity from ml project dot entity dot config entity import this class. Okay, fine. Now component is also done. Now I need to create the pipeline. So let me create the pipeline. I'll name it as stage 03 data transformation. .py. Okay. Then I will again import the same libraries here. Okay. Then I will initialize my class for data transformation pipeline. Okay. And this is the stage name. And here inside main function, I have done slight change here. Let me show you like what I have done here. Okay. Sorry, it should be main class. Okay. Now here, first of all, what I'm doing, I'm reading this status.txt file. As you can see inside my data validation, I have status.txt file. Okay. And here I have the status. Okay. So first of all, what I'm doing, I'm reading and splitting out this status. Okay. This one, I'm just extracting this true and false. Okay. Here, as you can see, status. Now I'm checking this status is true. Then I'm running my pipeline. Then I'm running this pipeline, my data transformation pipeline. As you can see, this pipeline I'm running. Okay. Otherwise, I'm raising the exception. Your data schema is not valid. Okay. So that is why we created this data validation, and that's how you can do the validation. Okay. See, if this is failing, if your data is not in correct format, it will break the code here. Okay. It won't reach to the training pipeline. Okay. That is why it's a better practice, right? Like that. Okay. That is what I'm just doing here. Now you need to initialize it inside your main function. That's it. Okay. The way we have did till now. Okay. Now I need to add this thing in our main.py. Let me open main.py. First of all, let's import our data transformation pipeline. Okay. Then I'll copy paste the same code only. That's it. Okay. Yeah. I'm calling this main. Okay. Main method from this data transformation pipeline. That's it. Okay. Now let me remove my artifacts and let me show you whether everything is working fine or not. I'll open my terminal again. Let me clear the terminal. Python main.py. See, it's done. Now if I open my artifacts, data ingestion has been run, validation has been run, status is true. Okay. And my transformation, see, it is also done the transformation. Okay. That means everything is working fine. Okay. Now our data is ready for the training. Okay. Now what I will do, next stage actually I'll be creating, which is nothing but our model trainer. Okay. Now let's start with our model trainer. So guys, our data is ready. Okay. We have done the data transformation stage as well. Now let's start with our model trainer part. So I will create one file inside research. I'll name it as 04 underscore model trainer. .ipynb. Okay. Let me close again. These are the thing. Okay, so I'll copy paste the same code from here. Let me select the kernel. Okay, now I'm inside my project directory. So now I think I can close it. Okay, fine. Now I will open my config.yaml. Yeah. So the first thing I need to prepare my configuration. Okay, so these are your model trainer related configuration I already prepared. Yeah. So basically I'll be creating one folder called model trainer. Okay, inside that I will be saving all my model. Okay, like after training the model, it will give you one model, right? Like model.joblib. That model actually I'll be saving inside this model trainer folder. And this is my training data path, okay, inside data transformation, and this is my testing data path, okay, because I need these two data to train my model. Okay. Now what I will do, I will prepare my entity. Okay, so let me prepare it. Yeah, so these are the entity actually I need. So basically I'm defining my root directory, training data path, testing data path, model name. Okay, so here if you see all the variable I've already defined. Okay, and some of the extra thing I'm also defining, like my alpha, L1 ratio, and target column. Okay, so alpha and L1 ratio from where I will define this thing inside params.yaml. Okay, because this is going to be my parameters. Okay, so here actually user will make the changes like the parameter they want. Okay, and it will reflect in the code. So I'll define the parameter here. So in this project actually I'll be using elastic net model. Okay, that's why I'm considering this alpha value and L1 ratio. But if you are going with any other model, let's say random forest or let's say decision trees, okay, you just define those parameter here. Okay, now alpha value and L1 ratio I will read from here. Okay, from this parameter.yaml, and I will define it here. Okay, and I also need the target column. Okay, so from where I will get the target column, I think you remember I have something called schema.yaml. Okay, so schema.yaml. So from here actually I will get this target column. Okay, because target is nothing but our quality of the wine. Okay, now let me execute. Then I'll be creating my configuration manager. So for this I need this, these are the packages. So I'll define the same template inside configuration manager. Okay, so here I will add my get model trainer. Yes, so here if you see I'm reading the schema as well and params dot as well. Okay, now from the param itself I'm taking the alpha L1 ratio, and schema I'm taking the target column. That's it. Okay, then I'm returning these are the configuration. Okay, and this is coming from your configuration only. Okay, now let me execute. Yeah, so now I'll be defining my component. Okay, model trainer component. So for this actually I need these are the package. I'm importing elasticnet from sklearn. Okay, then I'm also importing job link because I want to save the model. Okay, and also need pandas because I want to read the data. Okay, now let me execute. Now I'll be defining one class called model trainer. Okay, it will take your model trainer config. Now inside that I will create one method called train. Okay, so this is a simple training code I think you have already done in your machine learning. See, first of all I'm loading my training data, testing data. Okay, then I'm what I'm doing actually I'm just dropping my target column from my 10x. Okay, and I'm keeping my, and again I'm dropping my target column from my text s. Okay, then I'm keeping my target column inside train y. Okay, then I'm initializing my elastic net, and here I'm providing the alpha value from my configuration and L1 ratio as well. Okay, and NWST is equal to 42, and I'm fitting my data. Okay, then after training I'm just saving the model inside my artifacts. That's it. Okay, now let me execute. Then I'll define my pipeline. Okay, this is the pipeline. I'm initializing my model configuration model. Here I'm initializing my configuration manager, and I'm getting this model trainer config. I'm passing this thing inside my model trainer, and I'm training the model. Okay, now let me see whether it's working or not. Okay, I'll execute. See, model training is done. Now if I open the artifacts, now here it will create one folder called model trainer. See, model.joblib file is there. Okay, you can also save it as pickle file. Okay, but here I will be using joblib format. Okay, because this is better than pickle. Okay, now it's working fine. Now let's convert this thing as our modular coding. So what I will do, first of all I'll save it. So I'll first of all open my entity, config entity, and the same thing I'll copy from here. Config entity, let me mention it here. Okay, now you're thinking like where I will be adding this MLflow code. Okay, So MLflow code you need to add inside evaluation. Okay, evaluation stage, because in the evaluation stage actually we try to get the losses. Okay, get the losses and accuracy metrics. These are the thing. Okay, so there actually we'll be using MLflow to track our experiment. Okay, not in the training phase. Now I also need to add this configuration inside my configuration manager. Let me copy configuration manager. I'll add it after data transformation. Okay, then again I need to import this thing. I'll go up and add it here. Anything else is required? I think it's fine. Okay, now what I will do, I'll create the component. I'll copy this import, go inside component. Let's create one component called model trainer. Model trainer.py. Here I will mention the import and I'll copy the same class I have created here. Okay, then I also need to import my model trainer from my entity. So from ML project. Okay, from ML project dot entity config entity. Okay, import this model trainer config. Sorry, it should be import model trainer config. Okay, now I think it's fine. Anything else is required? I think no. Okay, fine. Now what I will do, I will create my pipeline. Okay, so let me go inside pipeline. I'll create stage 04 model trainer dot py. Okay, again I will import the same libraries, configuration manager and model trainer, and here I will mention my stage name and with respect to that the class. Okay, model trainer configuration pipeline, and I will create one main method def main self. Okay, and I'll copy paste the same pipeline I created here. Okay, that's it. Now I'll initialize it inside my main method. Okay, now to connect this thing inside my main, I will open my main. Again, I need to import it first of all. Model trainer training pipeline. Okay, then I will initialize the same thing after my data transformation. Okay, that's fine. Now let me first of all delete that artifact. Now let's try, okay, whether it's working or not. So I'll clear the terminal. I'll just write python main.py. I hope it should work. Yeah, all this just ran successfully. Now let's open the artifacts. See, data ingestion, data transformation, model trainer. See, this is the model. That means it's working perfectly. Okay, now let's commit the changes. I'll click here. I'll just add model trainer added commit. Okay, it's fine. Okay, now what I'll do, model trainer is also done. Now finally I will create my model evaluation and I will integrate my ML flow with it. Okay, so first of all let's do it in the notebook, then I will show you like how to convert it as a modular coding. Okay, so again I will create one file here called 05 underscore model evaluation dot ipynb. Okay, I will copy paste the same code here also. Let me close these other thing first of all. Let me go up. I'm doing it quickly because I think you got the idea like what are things actually I'm doing in every stage. Okay, that's why I'm going a little bit fast. All right, now the first thing what you need to do, I think you remember we were adding some ML flow tracking URI right in our environment. So I need to get a new tracking URI for this project. Okay, because the URI we got, that was my previous experiment. Okay, I was doing. but I need to collect one new URI, and I need to set it inside my environment variable. Okay, so for this, again, what I will do, again, I will log in with my DAGSub. Okay, search about dagsub.com. See, I've already logged in. Now here I will connect the repository I have created. Okay, end-to-end machine learning project with MLflow, the current repository I'm working on. Okay, so I'll click on create new repository, click on connect to repository, GitHub. After that, I will click on add revoke access. Okay, now select my account. Now give the password. Okay, then I will only give the only selected repository. I'll search here. So I'll copy the name. This is the repository. I will select save. Okay, now let's me search it here. This is the repository. Okay, now I'll connect the repository. So it's connected. Okay, now what I will do, I will first of all let me update the readme, like what are the commands we need to execute. Okay, so that you can also get the command from here. So I will also add like how to run this project. Okay, these are the thing as well. Step to execute this project, I will mention each and everything. First of all, I need to clone the repository. Okay, so let me give my repository URL here. So updating readme, it's a good practice. Okay, whenever you are trying to create an end-to-end project, so try to maintain your readme as well. Okay, then after that you need to create one environment, activate environment, install requirement.txt, then finally run app.py. We'll creating app.py, no issue. Okay, then after that, here I have mentioned my MLflow. I have given the documentation link. MLflow command, what are the commands you need to execute, and this is the DAGSub tracking URI. So I will replace this tracking URI with my new one. Okay, I'll click on remote, go to experiment, copy the URI. Okay, now let me change inside my readme. So here I'll just replace it with my new one. Okay, yeah, okay, it's fine. Now it's coming. Okay, so the first thing, I will copy this new URI. I will change this as the command. Okay, because this was my older project. Let me zoom out a little bit. Yeah, now I'll again copy my password because username will remain same for me, and I'll mention it here. Okay, fine. Okay, now what I will do, I have already collected this tracking URI. Now let's set it in our environment. Okay, so here first of all, I will execute one by one. I'll copy this entire command, open my terminal, let me clear it. Okay, now let me execute one by one. All right, now I'll copy the second one, execute, and the third one as well. Okay, it's done. Now whenever you are trying to do an experiment in the notebook, Jupyter notebook, at that time setting this thing in the terminal won't work. Okay, so for this you need to set it up using wes package. Okay, there is a method called wes.environment. With that, actually you need to change it. So I have already prepared this code. Yeah, see here, actually you need to set it like that. Okay, so here I'm giving MLflow tracking URI, tracking username, and tracking password. Now just change it with my tracking URI. I'll copy the URI. Okay, and I'll just mention it here. Replace this URI with your new URI. Okay, that's it. Now I also need to change the password. Here. Okay, it's done. Now let me execute. Okay, now it will set inside your Jupyter environment. Okay, now actually you can do it. So it's done. Now what I will do, I will write my config.yaml. So let me write my config.yaml. I have already prepared. Okay, see, model evaluation config. I will create again another folder called model evaluation, and this is my testing data path because I want to test my data, okay, on my trained model. Then this is my model directory inside training. Okay, model trainer, as you can see, and it will create one metrics.json. Okay, I'll be saving inside my model evaluation folder. Okay, so these are the path I need. Now I'll be defining my entity. Okay, so now let me define the entity. Yeah, so this is our entity. So root directory, test path, model name. Okay, all parameters. Okay, so all parameters from where I will get, I will again read this params.yaml and I will read all the parameters. Okay, I have there metrics file name. Okay, see what are the things I have mentioned here. I am mentioning here also. Target column name, again I will read from my schema.yaml, and mlflow URI. Okay, again I will write it down. Okay, inside mlflow URI section. Now I'll execute. Yeah, now again I will prepare my configuration manager. I will write the same template again, configuration manager. Inside that I will mention my model evaluation configuration I need. Okay, see here I have define. So as you can see, I'm reading parameters. Okay, elastic net parameters. Okay, I'm reading all the parameters here I have. Okay, and I'm saving inside my all params, as you can see here. Okay, because I need all the parameters. Okay, to track in my ML flow. Okay, that's why I'm reading it here. Now everything I'm initializing here, and at the last I'm also setting my tracking URI. I have hard coded this value, no issue with that. Okay, now I need to change this URI with my new URI. I'll copy the new URI and I will mention it here because that is my older project. Okay, fine. Okay, now let me execute. Now I'll write my component, final component. Okay, now you can see I'm importing this mean squared error, absolute error, R2 score, URL parse. I'm also importing MLflow, sklearn, the same way we did. Okay, initially I was doing the MLflow experiment. The same thing I'm importing here as well. Okay, now let me execute. And the same way I will write the function. First of all, I will define one class called model evaluation. Then inside that I will create eval metrics. I think you remember there extra they were creating eval metrics. Okay, it will calculate the evaluation metrics for you. Okay, then I will log into my MLflow. Same code. Okay, just open your previous code and just try to relate with that. See, same code here. First of all, what I'm doing, just let me explain. I'm loading my data, I'm loading my model. Okay, the train model I'm loading, and as well as my testing data. Okay, after that I'm dropping this target column from this text. Okay, then I'm storing my target column here. Then what I'm doing, I'm setting my tracking URI. Okay, the tracking URI I'm getting from my configuration. This tracking URI I'm setting. Okay, because I want to do everything inside the remote server. Okay, then after that I'm writing mlflow dot start run. Okay, the same thing I was doing in the notebook. Now here mlflow will start. Now first of all, what I'm doing, I'm predicting on top of my testing data, it will give you the predicted value. Now I'm calculating my RMSE score, ME score, and R2 score. After that, this is code actually I'm saving as a JSON file. Okay, inside my artifacts. Then I'm also logging with MLflow. As you can see, log params, and log metrics. Okay, log params, I'm giving all the parameter together. It will save everything. Okay, inside MLflow. Now log metrics. Okay, R2 score, ME score, and RMSE score. After that, I'm setting it like it will check first of all whether you are doing inside URI or in the local directory. I've already set the URI, that's why everything it will save inside the URI. Okay, and I'm giving the model. Okay, elastic net model. That's it. Okay, now let me execute. Okay, it's like very easy to use MLflow. Only we just need to add inside your evaluation stage. Okay, that's it. Now I will create the pipeline. Okay, now initializing my configuration manager, getting the evaluation config, passing it to my model evaluation, and starting this method. Okay, log into MLflow. That's it. Okay, now let me execute and see whether it's working or not. Okay, so I'll execute it. Now guys, if you see here model evaluation, it has saved this metrics of JSON. Okay, see, these are your metrics you got. Okay, R2 score, MA score, and RMSE score. Now it is still running because it is saving inside my URI. See, it's done. It's telling created version model 1 elastic net. Okay, to the URI. Now I'll go to that server. Okay, I will click on go to MLflow UI. Now you'll see the experiment. Okay, I did here. See guys, okay, this experiment is done successfully, and 29 seconds ago I just did. Okay, now let me again run one experiment. Okay, and show you whether it's working or not. Again, what I'll do now, I will change the parameter. Okay, here I'll open the parameter. Let's take 0.9 and 0.8. Okay, I've changed the parameter. Now I will go inside evaluation again, and I will run from here. Okay, It's done. Now you have different metrics. You can see model.json. You have different metrics. Now let's go to our UI and refresh it. See, you have another experiment. Now if I open this experiment and if I show you the parameter, see 0.9, 0.8, okay? And if I go to my previous parameter, it was 0.7, I think 0.7 and 0.5, okay? That means it is working perfect, okay? It is working perfect and we are able to also track our experiment, okay? Now, I need to convert this thing as our modular coding because we are doing inside the notebook, okay? It's very easy again. So first of all, what I will do, I'll close these other thing, okay? I'll open my entity. Let's open the entity again, config entity. Let me close this thing. Okay, now let me copy my entity from here, mention it after training. All right, now I also need to update my configuration manager. Let's copy the same thing, open my configuration.py, mention it here. Okay, I also need to upload import this thing. Let me import it here after my trainer config. Okay, now let me see. Okay, fine. Now I'll update my components. Okay, let me copy the import. I'll go to inside component. I'll create one new file called model evaluation.py. Okay, now I'll mention it inside model evaluation.py. I'll copy the same class I created here. I also need to import model evaluation config here. So from ml project.entity.config entity import model evaluation config. That's it. Okay. Anything else I need? I also need save JSON. Okay. So I think I need to import it. Okay. So I think you remember inside utils we created save JSON function here. See save JSON. I think somewhere we created save JSON. Okay. So this one I will be importing here model evaluation here. Okay. So let me import it. So from ML project utils common save JSON. Okay. Now let me see. I also need to import path. Okay. So let me import it here. Import. I think from path leave import path. Okay. Now anything else I need here? Let me just quickly do a review. I think everything is fine. Okay. Everything is fine. Okay. Now let me save it. Now let's create the pipeline. Okay. Because we have added our components. Now let's create the pipeline. I will go inside pipeline, create a new stage 05 model evaluation .py. Okay. I'll import the libraries. Then I will initialize my stage name and the class. Okay. After that, I will create one main method, def main self. Okay. Then I will copy the pipeline from here. Okay. I think it's fine. Now I'll initialize it inside my main function. That's it. Okay. Now let's add it inside my main.py. Okay. I'll open my main.py. I need to import it first of all. So let's import my model evaluation pipeline. Okay. Now I'll initialize it after my model trainer. Okay. See, all the pipeline we have added successfully. My data ingestion, data validation, data transformation, model trainer, and model evaluation. Okay. Everything we have completed. Now let's do a final testing. Okay. So I'll delete these artifacts again. Okay. So again, I will delete these are the experiment also. Okay. Let's delete. Okay. Now let me go back and execute my code from scratch and see whether it's working or not. Okay. So I'll run my Python main.py. See, it's I think doing the hosting. Okay, see, it's done. Now I'll open the artifacts, model trainer, model evaluation, see metrics it has saved. Now let's go back to our UI and refresh here. See, the experiment it has done. Okay, now change a different parameter. Okay, change a different parameter. I will open my parameter here. Sorry, params.yml. Let's give 0.4 and 0.3. Okay, that's how you can give different parameter and just execute. Okay, see, it's like very easy now. Okay, because we have created separately this thing. It's done again. Now let's change again some different parameter. 0.2, 0.1. Save it. Again, open up your terminal and execute it again. Okay, let's consider you are doing multiple experiment. Okay, then you have to figure out the best model on top of it. Okay, let's say I have done only 3 times. I think 3 times I already did, right? Yeah, 3 times I already did. Okay, now I need to figure out the best model. So what I will do, I'll select everything, compare. Now I will go to this parallel coordinate plots and I will figure out the best model. Okay, so here I want to see RT score as well as my ME score. Okay, now let's figure out. Okay, so alpha value, I need to see RMSE score less, RT score high, again ME score less. Okay, now see the parameter. 0.1 and 0.2. Okay, let's figure out the parameters 0.1 and 0.2. Okay, see, this is the parameter. Now this is the experiment. Let's go inside. Now let's select the parameters. So alpha value 0.2, 0.1. Okay, now let's copy this parameter and write it here. Alpha value 0.2 and your L1 ratio 0.1. Okay, which I already added. I think this was my last experiment. Okay, 0.1. Okay, now this should be your final parameter. Okay, this should be your final parameter. Now see, we have figured out our best model. This should be your final parameter. Okay, now you can use this parameter to get your best model. Okay, see, using mlflow we have easily got our best parameter with respect to the best accuracy, and we have added inside my code. Okay, that's how we can use mlflow. Okay, mlflow tracking. Okay, now let's say you are doing hyperparameter tuning, so it will take lots of time to train your model using this grid.cv and all, and you have to do lots of comparison. Okay, so it's like very time taking task. Again, it needs lots of computational power. Okay, but instead of that, see, as a human, as a data scientist, you know, like, just try to pick up 10 like 6 to 10 parameter, 6 to 10 parameter with different parameter, and try to do 6 to 7 times this experiment. Okay, from this experiment you can easily get your best model out of it. Okay, and you can select the best parameter on top of it. I think you are getting my point. Okay, what I'm trying to say. Okay, but still, if you want to do hyperparameter tuning, you can go it. But again, today is the world of like MLOPS. So if you can integrate this kinds of tool with your project, so definitely this would be like very unique. Okay, and if you have this skill with your project, I think definitely you can crack any kinds of data science interview. Okay, because see, this project is completely end to end. We have added mlflow with it. Okay, I have given the idea like how to do it. Okay, now just show this project with anyone else, they will definitely get impressed. Okay, with your project. Now guys, everything is working fine. Okay, and we are also able to track our experiment as well. Okay, now if I show you my code, we have successfully completed our training pipeline. Okay, with mlflow. Now I also need to give like prediction UI as well, because let's say I want to I have got my best model. Now I want to deploy this model. Okay, and user will do the prediction. Okay, so I also need the prediction pipeline as well. Like, user will pass some data and it will give you give them the prediction. Okay, so these kinds of functionality I also need to add. Okay, now what I will do, first of all, I will create the prediction pipeline, then I will create the UI. Okay, like one basic user interface, so that user can pass any kinds of data here. Okay, now before that, let me just quickly push the changes. I'll just give model evaluation and mlflow added. Okay, it's done. Now let's start with our prediction pipeline. So guys, our training pipeline is completed. Okay, now let's start with our prediction pipeline. So for this, actually, what I will do, I will open my pipeline. Okay, This is the pipeline. First of all, let me close these are the thing. This thing is not required. Yeah. Okay. So inside my pipeline, I'll create one file called prediction. Okay, prediction.py. So prediction pipeline would be like very simple. First of all, I need to import some of the libraries. Okay, only I will just load my model and I'll just do the prediction. Okay, and I will return it. Okay, so that is the thing actually you need to do inside the prediction pipeline. So here, first of all, I will create one class. Inside the class, actually, I will load my model. Okay, see, this is the class I have prepared called prediction pipeline. Inside that, I have created one constructor, and this is the class variable I have defined. Okay, so basically, I have saved my model as a joblib format, as you can see. So I'm using joblib to load the model, and I'm giving the path of my model. Okay, see, this is the path I'm giving, and again, I'm giving forward slash, and I'm handling this forward slash with this path. Okay, path library. Then after that, I'll define one predict method inside this class. So basically, it will take the data from the user. See, whatever data actually user will pass, it will take and it will do the prediction and it will just return the prediction. Okay, that's it. This is the simple prediction function actually you need. Okay, now what I need to do, I need to integrate with one user interface. Okay, because see, if I give this code with any other user, okay, who doesn't know Python, okay, so they will definitely get confused, like what they need to do. Okay, so instead of that, if you just create kinds of simple UI, okay, and if you just provide this kinds of UI to the user, so it will be very easy for them to upload the data and get the prediction, right? So for this, let's create this app.py. Okay, so I'll come here. Here, first of all, I will initialize my First of all, I will import my Flask and some necessary libraries. Okay, so Flask I have imported, and with that, some necessary libraries I imported. Okay, then I also need to import my prediction pipeline. So let's import it. I think we have just created prediction pipeline. So I'll just write from ML project. ML project. Okay, dot pipeline dot prediction. Okay, import. Just copy the class you have created, prediction pipeline. Okay, and paste it here. Then I will initialize my Flask. With that, I will create one default route. Okay, see, I've initialized my Flask and I've created a default route. So guys, whenever you will execute this app.py and you will get one host and port number, if you click on it, so it will open up your index.html. Okay, so where I will create the index.html, so it should be present inside template. Okay, see, this is the index.html. Okay, so now let's write this index.html. So I have already prepared this HTML code, guys, so you don't need to worry about like how I've written this code and all. Okay, I just copy pasted this code like from this Bootstrap website. If you just go here, Bootstrap, so there is a website called Bootstrap. Okay, you will get lots of HTML template here. So I have created one basic form, so I collected the example form here only. Okay, so if you just click here, so you will get lots of example here. If you click on it, so you will get the code. Okay, so you don't need to worry about the HTML code. If you don't know, completely fine. Okay, you can use this code as a template. Okay, and here I will tell you like what are the things I have just changed. Okay, now I'll open it. Okay, see, whenever you will hit the default route, okay, it will open this HTML page for you. So let me show you like how it will look like. So for this, actually, I will define my host and port. Okay, host and port. And one thing I also did, I created this static folder. Inside that, I created some of the EVC CSS file. Okay, because I just did some beautification of this UI. That's why I gave some CSS code as well. Okay, so where I got this CSS code, again I collected from this Bootstrap website. Okay, so no worries. Okay, you can use this code as it is. Okay, no issue with that. Now let me execute and show you like how it will look like your basics HTML page we have created. So let me open my terminal and I will open my app.py. So Python app.py. It's running on port number 8080. Okay, let me run it first of all. If you're getting this window, just click on allow access. Okay, now this is running. Okay, on this you can say host and port. So what you can do, just go to Google and search localhost port number 8080. Okay, if you search it, so it will open up your web app. See guys, this is the web app I created. Okay, and here I have named it as wine quality prediction, wine quality web app. Okay, where you can change it. So let me open the code again. If I open the HTML code, so here I think somewhere I change, see, wine quality prediction, and okay, see here you can change the headline and all. And here what I have done, see, if you just go below, you have one basic form. Okay, so you need to fill this form like fixed acidity, citric acid. Okay, if you fill them, so you will get the quality of the wine. Okay, so these are the information like how I'm collecting. I have created this form here, as you can see. Inside this form, okay, I created this, see, different form, fixed acidity, then violet acidity, okay, then citric acid, and I've assigned the name with that also. Okay, so I can access this name. Okay, whatever user is passing, I can call with this name, it will give me that value. Okay, and I will do the prediction. Okay, see, simple, this is the simple form I'm creating here. Okay, nothing else. Now let me go back to my code. Okay, now I'll create more functionality here. So first of all, I will define one training route. Okay, because now user will train from here only. So if they give /train, so what will happen, it will start the training. So basically I'm running this main.py. As you can see, main.py we have created here. Okay, so if you just execute main.py, it will start your training pipeline. Okay, so that is why I'm using waste.system package, and I'm running this python main.py. Okay, using waste.system, actually you can execute any kinds of python command. Okay, so this is the command actually we used to execute in our terminals. Instead of running in the command, we are giving as a command inside waste.system. It will automatically run this main.py, and whenever main.py will start, your training pipeline will start. Okay, and you can do the training. Okay, so let me show you like how it will train the model. So what I will do, I will delete this artifacts again. So let me open my folder. Okay, I will remove these artifacts. Now I'll go back to my UI, and here you just, if you just give /train, okay, see, it will start training your model. So let me open my terminal. See here, see, it has started training. See, model evaluation done. I think everything is completed. Now let me go back to my folder. Now if I open this artifacts, guys, you can see model trainer is done. See, this is the model evaluation is also done. Okay, that means everything is working fine. Okay, we can train this model from this UI itself, and it is telling training successful. Okay, so that's why instead of giving this code to the user, you just give this UI. Okay, it would be very easy for them to train the model. Okay, then after that, I also need the prediction route. Okay, like if I want to do the prediction on top of like new data set, like how I can do it. Okay, so it's very easy. So again, I will create one route called predict. Okay, and here I'll be just taking the value from the user. That's it. See, if I show it here, see, this is the form I've created here, as you can see. So if you hit /predict, so it will first of all take, these are the information, fixed acidity from this index.html. As you can see, I created this form. Okay, here, fixed acidity, then volatile acidity. Okay, it will take all the values from this HTML code, whatever user is passing here. So whatever user is passing here, let's say if I pass 3 here, so it will come. Okay, it will receive 3 here. Okay, it will receive 3 here. That's how it will take all the value. After that, I'm creating a data list. I'm storing all the value here. I'm converting to numpy array. Then I'm initializing my prediction pipeline objects. Okay, then on top of it, I'm just calling the predict. It will give you the prediction, and I'm just returning this prediction. That's it. Okay, and I'm launching this result.html. Okay, but result.html we haven't created, so let me create it. Okay, so I'll click one HTML page here called results.html. Okay, again, I refer this code from the Bootstrap website. Okay, so let me just write it. So basically it will give you one basic page of the results. Okay, and there you can see the results. That's it. Okay, now let me save it, and now let me show you like how it will work. Okay, so I'll open my terminal again. I think it's running already. So let me come here and refresh the page. Okay, now let's say if I give any value, let's say I will give 3. Let's give any random value. Okay, no issue with that. Let me just do the prediction for you. Okay, now if I click on predict, see guys, This is another page, it is coming /predict and one quality. See, this is the one quality you are getting. Okay, see guys, that means everything is working fine. We are also able to do the prediction. Okay, now let me go back to my code. Anything else I need? Yeah, I think everything is fine. Okay, I don't need anything. Now what I can do, my prediction is working fine as well. Now this project is ready for the deployment. Okay, but before that, what I need to do, I need to add this Docker file here. Okay, because as I already told you, I'll be using Docker to make this code as image, Docker image. Okay, then I will do the deployment. So this Docker command is very easy. So again, I will take one Python image called 3.8 Slim Buster. Okay, then I'll do the apt upgrade and I will install AWS CLI. I'll create one app directory. Inside that, I will copy all the code. Then I will install my requirements. Okay, then it will launch your app.py. That's it. Okay, if you know basics of like Docker, I think you can get it. Like what are the things actually I'm writing. But if you don't know, it's completely fine. Okay, just use it as a command or template. Okay, you need to keep it inside your code so that whenever you are doing CI/CD deployment, it will make all the code as a Docker image. Okay, so using these are the command, actually it will make all the code as Docker image. Okay, that's it. Now I also need this one, my main.yaml. Okay, because this main.yaml will do the CI/CD deployment for me. So again, I will create one file inside workflows. I'll name it as main.yaml. Okay, then I can remove this .git file because this is not required. Yeah. Now let me just verify whether I have created inside workflows or not. I'll go manually workflows. Yeah, main.yaml is there. Now let me just show you like what are things you need to write inside main.yaml. So again, it's a basic deployment steps only using GitHub action with AWS. See, this thing, just keep it. Okay, I have already prepared this thing for you, so you don't need to understand it. Okay, if you're creating any kinds of project and if you want to do CI/CD deployment with AWS, just keep this code. Okay, keep this YAML file ready. Okay, you don't need to change anything here. It will remain common. Okay, it will remain as it is. So basically what I'm doing here, first of all, I'm running my workflows. If something is changing on my main branch, so it will start first of all continuous integration. Okay, inside continuous integration, I'm not doing anything. I'm just echoing some of the command. Then inside continuous delivery, I'm logging with my AWS credential. Okay, then I'm logging with the ECR. Okay, the service actually I'm going to use, the name of the service is ECR, that means Elastic Container Registry. So there actually I will first of all build my Docker image. Then I'll push this image to the ECR. Okay, ECR will store your Docker image. Then after that, I will start my continuous deployment. Okay, inside continuous deployment, again it will authenticate with your AWS account. Then it will like launch one. Then what it will do, it will access your EC2 machine, and in that EC2 machine it will pull that Docker image from the ECR. Okay, and it will execute here. As you can see, I'm doing Docker run. Okay, that's it. Okay, you need to do this thing only. And port number 8080, I think I have also defined here. Okay, yeah, 8080. So this thing is ready for the deployment. So now what I can do, I'll show you like how to deploy this project, okay, to the AWS cloud as CI/CD. Okay, because we have completed all the thing. Okay, we have written all the file and all, and nothing is left, I think. Okay, so guys, now let's start with our deployment. So what I did, actually I updated your readme. So I already updated like how we'll be performing the deployment, okay, using GitHub action. So first of all, let me tell you like the description of the deployment, like what are the things actually we're gonna do. So first of all, we'll be building the Docker image of our source code. Then I will push that Docker image to the ECR, that means Elastic Container Registry. Then I will launch one EC2 machine. Okay, then I will pull that image from ECR inside my EC2. Then I will launch my Docker image inside the EC2. Okay, so this is the simple deployment steps actually we'll be following. Okay, and these are the policy you need. Okay, you need to provide these are the access. Okay, so first of all, we'll be creating one IAM user. Okay, after logging with my AWS console. So for this, let's log in with your AWS console. Okay, so I have logged in with my AWS console. So here, first of all, let's create one IAM user. Okay, so what I will do, I'll search for IAM. Okay, Identity Access Management. Okay, here I will click on user. Then I will click on add user. Let's give ML user. Okay, ML proj user. You can give any name. I'll click on next. I'll select attach existing policy. Okay, now you need to search for the policy. Okay, so here I have already added the policy. Just copy paste, copy. and paste on the search bar and just select it. Okay, after selecting you can remove it. Now again search for the second one, Amazon EC2 full access. I'll again give it and select it. Okay, then I will click on next. Okay, I think these two service only. Okay, yeah, fine. Now I'll create the user simply. Okay, then now let's figure out my user. I think mlproj user, I think we have created something called, yeah, this is the user. I will click here. Then I will click on security credential. I will generate this access keys. Click on create access keys. Okay, select command line interface. I understand. Okay, then click on next. Then I'll just click on create access keys. Okay, now you can download that CSV file and keep it. Okay, so let me open it up. Yeah, so this is my access key and secret key. Okay, now I'll just minimize. Yeah, so you just keep it. Okay, because later on we need it. Okay, now what I will do, we have successfully created IAM user. Now I need to create ECR repository. Okay, to store my Docker image. Okay, so I'll search for ECR, Elastic Container Registry. Search it. Okay, now click on create a repository. Give the repository name. I will give mlproj. Okay, then I'll just create the repository here. Okay, it's not taking. Yeah, it has created now. mlproj. Okay, this is the repository I created. Okay, now just copy this URI. Okay, copy this URI. Let me copy, and I'll save it inside my readme file. I'll open my readme. Let's save it here. Okay, so that I can use it later on. Okay, this is my URI. Make sure you just store it somewhere. Okay, otherwise you will lose it. Now we have created the ECR as well. Now what I will do, I'll create the EC2 Ubuntu machine. Okay, so let's go to our EC2 service. EC2 is a virtual machine service. Let's go inside. Now click on launch instance. Give the name of the instance. I will give mlproj machine. Okay, then I'll select Ubuntu. Then here you need to select the instance type. So let's go with at least you need at least 8 GB RAM. Okay, 8 GB RAM is fine because what I saw like 8 GB RAM is fine. So just let's take this T to large. Okay, then here select the key pair. If you don't have any key pair, you can create from here. Just give any name, mlproj. Okay, I'll create the key pair and it will select automatically. Okay, so you don't need it, but let's see if you want to access your machine from any third party, okay, tool like putty or mobile extreme, at the time you need it. Okay, but by default you need to give it. Okay, you don't need to use it here. Now I will check mark this to one, allow HTTPS and HTTP, and configuration size you need to check at least 32 GB. Okay, now click on launch instance. Okay, now I'll click on view all instance. Okay, let me figure out my machine here. I think mlproj machine. Okay, this is pending, it should be running. Okay, I have some previously like machine as well here, as you can see, so that's why. Now mlproj. Now this machine is running. Okay, the machine we created, status it is running. Now let me, okay, it's running. Now I'll click on this machine ID. Okay, instance ID. Okay, now here you will get one button called connect. Okay, let me click on connect and I will connect. So it will launch me one terminal. Okay, so this is the terminal I got. Let me clear. So the first thing what you need to do here, you need to install these are the thing. Okay, in this machine. So let's copy one by one all the command and execute. Basically I'm updating my apt get package manager here. Okay, it's done. Now let me again clear. Now I'll copy the second command. I will provide a yes. If you give Y, so it will take as yes. So if you are getting these kinds of windows, just press enter from your keyboard, it will disappear. See, it's done. Now let me clear it again. Okay. Now what I need to do, I need to install Docker. Okay, Docker in this machine. Okay, because by default Docker won't be there. So let me install. So these are the command you need to execute again to install the Docker. Let me copy one by one. Okay, it's done. Now I'll copy this command, execute, and this is the last command. Okay. Okay, now it's done. Now if you want to verify whether your Docker is running or not, let me clear it. Okay, just write Docker hyphen version. Okay. See guys, Docker version is giving, that means Docker is running perfectly. Okay. Now what I need to do, I need to configure my EC2 as self-hosted runner. Okay, so for this I need to go to my project setting, action, runner, and self-hosted runner. Okay, so let me go back to my project. So this is my project only. So what I will do, I will make a new copy of it. So I'll open in a new tab. Open in a new tab. Open link in a new tab. Yeah, I'll refer this one, and there I will do the changes. Okay, now thing here. Okay, now here, just come here. Make sure you are doing in your project only. Okay, otherwise you won't be getting this option. Just try to upload your code in your GitHub, then you can do it. Okay, now click on settings here. Okay, so there is a settings option you will get. Click on settings. After that, here you will get something called action. Okay, click on action. Click on runner. Okay, after that, just click on new self-hosted runner. Now select Linux from it. Okay, then after that you need to execute these are the command one by one. Okay, now let's copy the first command, open up your EC2 instance and run it. So basically what you are doing, you are connecting this GitHub with your AWS. Okay, so whenever you will upload your code, push your code to the GitHub, it will automatically get to know you have pushed something, and it will take the code from your GitHub and it will do the deployment. Okay, that is why we are making the connection. Okay, that's why we call it self-hosted runner. So let's run one by one. Make sure you are running all the command. Okay, if you miss out anything, so it will you will get a. Then I have run all the command. Now let's run this command. Okay, now it's asking the enter the name of the runner group to add this. You just give default. Okay, just press enter. Now it's telling enter the name of the runner. Okay, you just need to give self-hosted here. Self-hosted. Okay, make sure you are giving the same name, self-hosted. Now let me press enter. Now it's telling additional label. I don't need to provide. I'll skip it. Press enter. Now added. It's telling. Now it's telling workflows. I will press again enter. Okay, it's done. Now let me clear. Okay, now I'll run the last command. Okay, now it will connect with my GitHub. See, connected to GitHub and listening for the jobs. Okay, that means we have made the connection successfully. Now what I need to do, let me go back here. I need to set up this GitHub secret now. Okay, so how I can set up, I will again go back to my project. Here you will get something called secret variable. Okay, just click on secret variable and click on action. Now here just click on new repository secret. Okay, now let's create. Now here you need to provide the name. Okay, so here I have already mentioned what are the secret you need to provide. So first of all, you need to save for AWS secret key ID. Let's copy the key name. I'll give it here. And where you will get the secret key ID, I think you remember we downloaded one CSV file. So AWS, I think this is the AWS access key ID. Okay, access key ID. This is the access key ID. Just copy before the comma. Okay, copy and paste it here and add secret. Okay, similar wise, again I will click on new repository secret. Again I will come here and see what now I need to add for AWS secret key. Okay, secret access key. Copy the name, give the key here. Again open up your CSV file and copy this secret key before the comma. Paste it here and add it. Okay, again click here. Now I need to add for AWS region. Copy the name. I think for me it was US East 1. Okay, I already told you I'm in North Virginia. Okay, that's why I'll give the name US East 1. Then next what I have AWS ECR logging URI. Okay, I think you remember we copied one URI. Okay, from that ECR. So open up your README file again. See, this is the URI. Just copy till this .com. Okay, and give it here. Done. Now let me do the next one. Now ECR repository name. Okay, copy the name. Give it here. And ECR, what is the ECR repository name? This is the name. Okay, just copy the last one. MLProds. Add secret. Okay, so everything I think we have done. Okay, everything we have done. It's fine. Now we are ready to deploy our project. Okay, now I'll go back to my project. Yeah. Now I need to commit the changes. Okay, because as you can see, I haven't committed the changes as of now. But before that, I will remove this debug is equal to true. Okay. Let me make one copy of it and comment it out. And I will just remove this debug is equal to true. Okay. Make sure you are doing like that also. Now let's commit the code. Okay. So I'll click on source control. Otherwise, you can also do from your terminal itself. It's completely fine. Let's open my terminal. I'll stop the execution my previous code. Now clear. Okay. Now I'll just write git add space dot, then git commit -m. Then I will give CI CD added. Then I will git push origin main. Okay, it's done. Now if you click here, it will disappear everything, I think. Yeah. Now let me go back to my repository and refresh here. Okay, now you can see this yellow check mark. Now I'll click on action. See, your action is running, CI CD added. Now if I click on action, so first of all, see, continuous integration is running. As I told you, I think you saw we created this integration, delivery, and deployment. Okay, these three stages. Now see, delivery is running. So inside delivery, what will happen? It will first of all install some of the utilities, then logging with your AWS credential, then logging with your ECR. Then it will build the image and push the image to the ECR. Then it will return. Now let's wait. It may take some time building the image. So I'll wait. Okay, I will come back when it is done. So it may take some time for you. You just wait. So guys, as you can see, it's giving one error. It's telling sklearn PyPy package is deprecated. Instead of that, use this name. Okay, scikit-learn. Now let me copy the name and go back to my project. I'll open the requirement.txt and instead of sklearn, I'll give this name here. Okay. Now let's see whether it's working or not. I will again do the push. Update it. Okay, it's done again. Then go back to my project again. Again, job is running, as you can see. Now I'll click on action. Updated is running. Now let's click here. Now let's wait for my continuous delivery. Now it is building the image. Okay, let's see what happens. So see guys, continuous delivery is also done. Now it is running my continuous deployment. Okay, so now what it will do, it will pull that Docker image from the ECR and it will run in my EC2 machine. Okay, now let's wait. Again, it may take some time. Okay, let's wait. I will come back when it is done. So see guys, all the stages run successfully. Okay, now I'll go back to my instance. Okay, now I'll click on my instance ID again. Now here you need to like provide your port, like port number 8080 we defined in our port. Like if I show you here, okay, you need to assign this port here. So how I can do it? Just click on credit security. Here you have something called security groups. Okay, click here. Then right hand side you can see edit inbound rules. Okay, I'll click here. Then add rules. Custom TCP it's fine. Now give port number 8080. Okay, now I'll give 000 and I'll save the rules. That's it. Okay, now I'll go to my EC2 again, running. So here I have something called MLPros machine. Okay, click on instance ID. Now there you will get something called this one, public IP address. Okay, now copy this IP address and paste it in a new tab. Okay, now I'll give port number 8080 with that. Now it should run my app. See guys, okay, that means our app is running perfectly. Okay, so we have completed our deployment as well. Now now you can do all the thing, training, prediction, whatever you like. Okay, you can do. Now I'll also show you like how to terminate all the instance you have created, because if you just keep it running like that, okay, it will charge you a lot. But once you have done the deployment, if you want, you can also remove everything. Okay, so for this, what you can do, first of all, let's remove our EC2 machine. Okay, I will click on EC2, go to instance ID. Now select your machine. Let's say ML project I have created. I'll select and I'll click on instance type and terminate. Okay, then terminate this machine. So after some time, it will delete and terminate. Okay, now what I will do, I'll search for ECR. We created one ECR repository here called MLProj. Okay, let's select and I will just delete it. Right, delete here. That's it. Okay, now I'll also delete my IAM user I created. Okay, click on user. I think it was ML user, MLProj user. Okay, this is the user I created. Now I'll just simply delete it. I'll copy the name, paste it and delete. Okay, that's it. Okay, so guys, we have successfully completed our project, and we have started from very basics and we have completed till the deployment. Now it's the time to explore from your side. Just pick up any kinds of problem statement, try to follow the same pipeline we created. Okay, and try to build something from your side. Okay, then it will be very much clear. So yes guys, this is all about from this video. I hope you liked a lot. Okay, and you learn a lot, I'm expecting, because I have given the entire idea of MLflow and all. Okay, like how to integrate and all. So yes guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time.